Beloved, you are not alone. Even now, though your eyes may not see and your ears may not hear, the unseen forces of heaven move on your behalf. Angels are not far-off dreams, nor are they ornaments of Scripture meant only for the past. They are messengers of light, protectors of your path, encamped round about you, because you are precious in the sight of the Lord. The Bible declares, "He shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways." That is not poetry, it is law. And when you speak it, when you affirm it, when you declare it with conviction, you summon the shield of heaven into your very atmosphere. Fear tells you that danger is near, but faith tells you that angels are nearer still. Harm may roam the earth, but it cannot touch the one who is covered in divine protection. Your words are your wand, and when you say with authority, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me," you send forth a decree into the unseen. Spirit hears it, law obeys it. The atmosphere shifts, and suddenly you are walking in safety that the world cannot explain. You do not beg for protection, you claim it. You do not tremble before shadows, you stand in light. Even as you listen now, imagine yourself encircled in radiant brilliance. Light above you, behind you, before you, beneath you. A fortress of angels, an army of God, a shield no force of harm can penetrate. Speak it until you feel it, declare it until you know it. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. And so it is. There is a law that governs this universe, beloved, and that law is unbreakable. Just as gravity holds the planets in orbit, and the tide obeys the pull of the moon, so too does divine law govern the unseen. And one of its greatest truths is this: protection is not something you must chase, it is something already given. The Bible says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them." That word encamps means they pitch their tents, they settle in, they stay. You do not walk through this life unguarded, you walk through it with heaven's army stationed by your side. But divine law responds to faith, not fear. Faith is the key that unlocks the circle of angels. When you live in fear, you imagine harm, you speak of harm, you rehearse danger. You create a picture in your mind, and what is pictured is drawn near. But when you live in faith, you paint a different picture. You see yourself encircled by light, and so light surrounds you. You speak of angels, and angels answer. You affirm protection, and protection manifests. It is not magic, it is law. So many souls wander through life hoping for safety, but speaking only of danger. They say, "I hope nothing bad happens," and with their own lips they open the door for fear. Beloved, hope is not enough. The spoken word is what calls forth the unseen. You must declare with authority, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." This is not a wish, it is not a fragile thought. It is a decree that sets divine law in motion. Picture this: fear is like a magnet that pulls harm near, but faith is a magnet that pulls angels closer. The moment you shift from trembling thoughts to triumphant declarations, you change the frequency of your atmosphere. Just as darkness flees from light, so too does danger flee from faith-filled decree. No harm can stand in the presence of angelic light. No shadow can remain when the sun rises, and no evil can reach you when you clothe yourself in the words of Spirit. Perhaps you have felt the brush of fear on your skin, the whisper of danger in your ear, or the weight of worry pressing on your chest. But today, that ends. Today you take up your wand, which is your word, and you wield it with certainty. Say it now, even under your breath: "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." Feel how it shifts the very air around you. Each syllable is a fortress, each declaration a shield. And the more you speak it, the stronger your shield becomes. Protection is not passive, it is active. It is the constant alignment of your words with truth. Do not wait for harm to test your faith. Surround yourself now in the decree of angels. Speak it before you leave your home, as you step into the street, as you walk through a crowd, as you rest your head at night. Let no day pass without claiming the presence of heaven's guardians. And remember this: you do not command angels out of pride or presumption. You align with them out of obedience to divine law. They are not summoned by fear. They are established by faith. Your decree is not asking God to do something new. It is reminding your spirit of what has always been true. You are protected. You are surrounded. You are safe. Beloved, walk in this assurance you are never outnumbered, never abandoned, never exposed. All around you, though invisible to the natural eye, stands the host of heaven, and they move at the sound of your decree, so speak it boldly. Write it upon your heart, whisper it in the night. Proclaim it in the morning. Let the law hear you, let the angels hear you, let your own soul hear you. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. And so it is. Beloved, never forget this: your word is your wand. It is not a feather, light and powerless, it is a scepter, mighty and commanding. The spoken word shapes the unseen. The universe listens to the vibration of your decree, and spirit moves accordingly. When you say, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me," you are not reciting poetry. You are writing law upon the air. The Bible affirms this truth. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. What you speak, you call. What you declare, you prepare. Your tongue is the rudder of your destiny, steering you either toward protection or peril, blessing or burden, safety or fear. Most people do not understand this. They speak lightly of danger, they rehearse worry, they call harm by joking about it. And without knowing, they open doors that heaven never intended them to walk through. But you, beloved, are not like most. You are awakening to the truth that words are creative power. Every syllable vibrates through the unseen. Every declaration sends ripples through the atmosphere. When you say, "No harm can reach me," you are not whispering hope. You are setting boundaries in the spirit. You are building walls of light so strong that no shadow can penetrate. Think of it like planting seeds. If you plant seeds of fear with your words, you will harvest trouble. But if you plant seeds of faith with your decree, you will harvest protection, peace, and deliverance. Just as a farmer knows that what he sows will grow, so must you know that what you speak will manifest. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn always declared, "Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your destiny." Let me give you this picture. Imagine a child in the night, frightened by the dark. The moment you strike a match and light a candle, the darkness flees. Did the darkness fight? Did the darkness argue? No, it simply vanished. So it is with your spoken word. Harm is like the dark. It cannot argue with light. And your words, spoken with faith, are the flame that sends it fleeing. This is why I tell you, speak often, speak boldly, speak with conviction. Do not wait for the world to hand you safety. Declare safety into the world. Do not hope someone else will pray for you. Open your mouth and decree your own protection. Remember, it is not repetition alone that holds power. It is repetition with belief. A parrot may mimic words but reap no results because it has no faith. But the soul who speaks with conviction shakes the heavens. Angels respond to faith-filled decrees, not empty echoes. Beloved, it matters not where you are. At home, at work, on the road, in the midst of a storm, your word carries the same power everywhere, because divine law knows no boundary. One declaration of faith can silence 1,000 voices of fear. One decree of protection can cancel out 100 threats. This is why you must train your tongue, discipline your words, and clothe every sentence in faith. Do this now. Say it softly, but say it with meaning. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. Feel the atmosphere bend to your word. Say it again. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. Let it become a rhythm, a shield, a melody of protection in your soul. The more you speak it, the more it roots into your subconscious, until it rises as your automatic response in moments of fear. Remember, words are not wasted. They either build or they break. They either shield or they shatter. Choose today to build walls of light with your decree. Walk through life with the rod and staff of your own tongue, guiding you into safety. Declare it morning and night until your spirit knows no other truth. And as surely as the sun rises, you will see it manifest. Beloved, the spoken word is your covenant, your contract, your call to heaven. So wield it with authority. Speak not fear, but faith. Speak not danger, but deliverance. Speak not harm, but harmony. And each time you do, know that angels lean in to listen, and law rushes to obey. Beloved, words alone are mighty, but when words are joined with vision and feeling, their power becomes irresistible. Spirit does not respond only to the sounds upon your lips, but to the vibration within your soul. When you declare, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. The decree is set forth, but when you see it, when you feel it, when you walk as though it is already true, then heaven and earth align to manifest it. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You stand in the center of a radiant circle of light. That light glows so brightly it blinds the eyes of fear. You are wrapped in brilliance, a fortress of shining presence. You look to your left, angels stand guard. You look to your right, angels hold watch. Before you, behind you, above you, beneath you, angels in every direction. They do not slumber, they do not weaken, they do not falter. They stand in perfect order, encamping around your very being. Now, let your heart feel it. Feel the warmth of that light upon your skin, the strength of their wings sheltering you, the peace of knowing you are guarded on every side. Do you feel the calm that comes when fear has no more place? This is not imagination in vain. This is the soul aligning with divine reality. The law says, "As you believe in your heart, so it shall be unto you." Belief is not cold logic, it is felt truth. It is the fire in your chest, the certainty that hums through your veins, the inner knowing that says, "I am safe, I am covered, I am untouchable by harm." Too often, beloved, people declare words with their mouths while still picturing danger in their minds. They say, "I am safe," but inwardly imagine the very disaster they fear. They speak light, but still hold shadows in their heart, and so they wonder why the decree seems powerless. The secret is this: you must let your inner vision agree with your outer words. When the picture and the decree are united, manifestation cannot be stopped. This is why Jesus said, "When you pray, believe you have received, and it shall be yours." To believe is to feel that it is done, to walk as though the answer is already in your hands, to see with the eyes of spirit what the eyes of flesh cannot yet behold. Belief is not waiting, it is knowing. So let us align your inner world. Each time you speak, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me," close your eyes and see it. See yourself shielded in radiant light. See angels stationed at every corner of your life. See harm approaching only to scatter and defeat. And as you see it, let gratitude rise, for gratitude is proof of belief. You do not thank for what you doubt, you thank for what you know is yours. Feel it as though it were done. Walk through your day as though the host of heaven marches with you. When you step outside, carry the awareness of angels in your very gate. When you lie down to sleep, rest upon your bed as though wings are spread over you. When you face a challenge, stand tall as though an army at your back lends you strength. This is faith with feeling. This is decree with vision. This is manifestation in action. Beloved, train your soul in this practice. Do not merely repeat words, live them. Do not merely hope for angels, see them. Do not merely wish for safety, feel it. Speak it, see it, feel it, believe it, and soon you will know it in experience. For the outer always mirrors the inner, and when the inner is clothed in angelic light, no outer darkness can break through. So let us seal this truth in your heart every time you say, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." You are not only speaking words, you are painting visions and igniting feelings that magnetize protection into your life. And when word, vision, and feeling unite, all of heaven rushes to fulfill the decree. And so it is. Beloved, fear is the great deceiver. It paints shadows upon the walls of your mind, whispering that harm is near, when in truth harm has no power over the soul aligned with divine law. Fear has always been a false prophet. It predicts disasters that never come. It rehearses tragedies that never arrive. It holds you hostage with illusions of what might be. But listen carefully, fear is not reality. It is imagination misused. The enemy of your soul knows this well. If he cannot harm you outright, he will try to make you believe you are in danger. For what you believe, you call forth. Fear is simply faith inverted. It is faith in evil rather than faith in good, faith in darkness rather than faith in light. That is why you must break free from the illusion of fear and clothe yourself in the vision of faith. When you declare, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me," fear loses its grip. The moment you shift your gaze from shadows to light, the shadows vanish. Picture a theater, the curtain rises, and on the wall, you see the great image of a monster. But then you look closely and discover it was only a shadow, cast by a small object in front of the light. Such is fear. It magnifies itself. It plays tricks on your imagination, but when the light of truth shines, it collapses into nothing. The Bible says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." Did you hear it? The valley is filled with shadows, not substance. Death itself is but a shadow. Fear is a shadow, and shadows cannot touch you. They have no weight, no substance, no life of their own. They only exist as long as you grant them attention. This is why it is so dangerous to rehearse fear in your thoughts. Many live each day seeing accidents, imagining losses, rehearsing worst-case scenarios. They call it preparation, but in truth it is participation with fear. What you picture within, you risk calling without. What you obsess over in thought, you magnetize in reality. Beloved, stop rehearsing danger and begin rehearsing deliverance. Stop picturing harm and begin picturing angels. Every time fear whispers, answer with faith. Say aloud, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." Let it be your shield, your sword, your response. Fear may knock at the door, but you do not have to invite it in. Instead, open the door and let the light of decree drive it out. Fear cannot dwell where faith is spoken. Darkness cannot linger where light is declared. Let me tell you something vital. You do not conquer fear by fighting it. You conquer fear by replacing it. Just as you do not wrestle with shadows, you simply turn on the light. So too you do not wrestle endlessly with fear. You shine the light of truth. You fill your mind with affirmations of protection, your heart with visions of safety, your mouth with decrees of faith. And as the light grows, fear shrivels and flees. Do not give your power to the illusion. Harm is not hunting you. Angels are guarding you. Evil is not chasing you. Good is surrounding you. The shadows you fear cannot touch the light in which you walk. Each time your heart quivers, remind yourself, this is not real. This is fear's illusion. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me. And as you say it, the spell of fear is broken. Beloved, today is your liberation from the prison of fear. You are not at the mercy of shadows. You are a child of light, encircled by heavenly hosts, guarded by the armies of God. Fear may knock, but faith answers. Fear may shout, but faith speaks louder. Fear may threaten, but faith declares, "Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." And so fear dissolves, and you walk free. Beloved, truth must not remain only in the mind or in fleeting inspiration. To manifest its full power, it must become practice. Divine protection is not a single moment. It is a way of life. Just as you clothe your body each day before stepping outside, so too must you clothe your spirit in the garments of decree. And the robe that shields you best is this one. Angels surround me. No harm can reach me. Begin your day with it. Before your feet touch the floor, before the thoughts of yesterday rush back in, lift your voice and set your atmosphere. Say aloud, "Angels before me, angels behind me, angels above me, angels beneath me. Angels surround me, no harm can reach me." Feel it settle like a mantle over your soul. As surely as you put on shoes to guard your feet, put on words to guard your path. Carry this practice into every moment. When you leave your home, speak it. As you drive, whisper it. When you walk into a crowded place, declare it. These are not idle repetitions. They are spiritual shields being activated in real time. Each word spoken refreshes the circle of light around you. You are not waiting for protection. You are walking in it, hour by hour, decree by decree. At night, let it be your lullaby. Fear often prowls in the dark, whispering of dangers and uncertainties. But the moment you lay your head upon the pillow, claim your divine rest. Speak softly. "I sleep encircled by angels. No harm can reach me in the night. I rest in peace, I wake in safety." Then close your eyes with assurance, for you are guarded not only when awake, but also in your dreams. And let this decree become more than words. It must be rhythm. Rhythm builds power. Just as the ocean's waves beat steadily against the shore, carving valleys in stone, so do repeated affirmations carve certainty into your spirit. When you repeat with feeling, day by day, your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once the subconscious is trained, it becomes automatic. Fearful thoughts lose their grip because your spirit has learned a new default: safety, security, angelic presence. You may even create small rituals to deepen your practice. Light a candle each morning and say, as this flame burns, so does the light of angels surround me. Place your hand over your heart when you declare your decree, anchoring the words in your body. Write the affirmation on a slip of paper and keep it in your pocket or purse, touching it throughout the day as a reminder of unseen guardianship. These rituals are not superstition, they are anchors of faith, physical acts that train the soul in spiritual certainty. And never underestimate the power of repetition in times of fear. When the storm rages, when news brings worry, when the shadows seem near, do not remain silent. Speak louder. Declare it stronger. Angels surround me. No harm can reach me. Say it until the fear has no room to breathe. Say it until your own heartbeat matches the rhythm of your words. Say it until peace floods your chest and the illusion of harm crumbles away. Beloved, the law responds not to wishful thinking, but to faithful living. To declare once and forget is like planting a seed and never watering it. But to decree daily is to water, to tend, to nourish until the harvest appears. Make this decree your daily bread, your morning shield, your evening song, your constant companion. Soon you will notice a change. Peace will linger where worry once ruled. Calm will remain where fear used to dwell. Situations that once threatened will dissolve before they ever reach you. And you will look back and know it was not luck, it was not chance, it was not coincidence. It was divine law, activated by your faithful decree, made alive by your daily practice. So, beloved, commit yourself now. Do not let this be a fleeting inspiration. Make it a way of life. Morning and night, in light and shadow, in calm and storm, declare it until it is the song of your soul. Angels surround me. No harm can reach me. And so it is. Beloved, let us seal this truth now. You have heard it, you have spoken it, you have seen it, and you have felt it. Protection is not a promise yet to come. It is a reality already here. Angels are not far-off visions. They are present, encamped, steadfast. No harm can touch you, no weapon can prosper, no shadow can cross the line of light drawn by divine law. So let us decree together, not timidly, but with authority. I am surrounded by angels of light. No harm can reach me, for I walk in the shelter of the Most High. I decree safety, I decree peace, I decree protection. Angels go before me, angels stand behind me, angels hover above me, angels hold me up beneath. Everywhere I go, the host of heaven guards my steps. No fear can bind me, no shadow can haunt me, no harm can touch me. For I am encircled, covered, and kept. This is my word, this is my law, this is my truth. Angels surround me. No harm can reach me. And so it is. And say it once more, slower this time, letting every word sink into your spirit. Angels surround me. No harm can reach me. Feel it now as reality. Walk from this moment as one clothed in light, shielded by spirit, guarded on every side. When fear knocks, answer with this decree. When doubt whispers, silence it with this word. When shadows appear, outshine them with this truth. You are not fragile. You are not exposed. You are covered by the law of protection, and angels are your constant companions. Walk boldly, rest peacefully, live freely, for you are surrounded, and no harm can reach you. And so it is.
Man is a creature of infinite power, if he would but awaken to his authority. Every word he utters is a decree, every thought a mold into which his world is cast. To speak is to command, and to command is to change. When one realizes this great truth, he ceases to live by default and begins to live by design. The old order of things may cry out for repetition, but the spirit within always seeks transformation. Change is not chaos. It is divine order unfolding in new and better ways. You are not bound by the patterns of yesterday unless you cling to them. The moment you speak differently, you live differently. You stand, this very instant, at the gate of change. It need not come slowly. It need not come with strain. The law is instant and unfailing when used in faith. Speak now what you desire. Say it not with fear, but with boldness, knowing that you are backed by the infinite substance of the universe. There is no power outside of you that holds sway over your good unless you give it that power. The command is always yours. Many people cry, I want change. Yet their words remain tangled in the vocabulary of limitation. I can't. It's hard. I've tried. These are not commands to change, but affirmations of stagnation. The word is your wand. It creates, it releases, it rearranges. If you would see the world shift, shift your language. If you would see the new, speak the new. Say, everything is working together for my good. Say, change comes easily and joyfully to me. Say, I am in command of my life, and I welcome the new with confidence. These are not idle phrases, they are blueprints. They summon invisible forces to arrange people, places, and possibilities in your favor. You cannot change the outer by remaining the same within. You must speak as one already changed. Imagine the self you wish to become and give that self a voice. The moment you do, you set divine law in motion. Let go of the old, not with regret, but with gratitude, for it brought you here. Now, you speak a new command. You write a new decree upon the ethers. And life, always obedient, reshapes itself to your word. Your words are commands that shape your reality. This truth, though simple, holds immense power, yet few truly grasp it. The spoken word is not just sound or expression. It is law in motion, a decree that shapes the unseen into the seen. When a person speaks, they are not merely communicating, they are constructing, issuing instructions to the invisible forces that govern life. Every word carries vibration, intention, and energetic authority, and the universe obeys the command whether the speaker is aware of their power or not. The law does not distinguish between idle talk and deliberate affirmation. It responds to the tone, belief, and emotion behind the word. Therefore, when one says, I am always unlucky, the law registers it as a command and brings forth experiences to match it. When someone continually declares, money is hard to come by, they unknowingly issue a standing order for lack and limitation. The outer world is not the master, it is the mirror. What one sees around them is the reflection of what has been said within and aloud. Many believe their circumstances are the result of fate, heredity, or chance, but these are only shadows cast by the continual repetition of the same mental and verbal patterns. Words set those patterns into form. A man may say, I never succeed, and wonder why success eludes him, not realizing that he has already written failure into the blueprint of his life. The spoken word molds thought into form, thought into experience, thought into matter. It is not necessary to speak loudly or dramatically for the command to take effect. The still, calm word spoken with belief has more power than 1,000 shouted without faith. It is the consciousness behind the word that makes it magnetic. A word spoken with fear calls forth fear's children. A word spoken in faith draws the hosts of heaven. There is nothing haphazard about creation. It is a precise system of cause and effect, and the cause always begins with the word. The scriptures say, in the beginning was the word, and it is still so. Every beginning, every new chapter, every breakthrough begins with a word. Whether whispered in prayer, spoken in casual conversation, or uttered in passing complaint, the word carries weight. It travels forth, gathers substance, and returns as reality. This is why it is essential to guard the lips and train the tongue to speak only what one truly wishes to experience. Idle words create active consequences. To speak is to sow. The soil is the subconscious, ever ready to receive. The harvest is inevitable. One cannot continually speak of lack, worry, sickness, or struggle and expect a life of abundance, peace, health, and joy. The law is too exact, too unfailing. It is not cruel but just. It gives each according to their decree. The wise one begins to choose their words as a gardener chooses their seed, with care, purpose, and foresight. Even in jest, even in habit, the word is potent. How often do people speak of dying to do something, or declare, this always happens to me, not realizing they are cementing those experiences into their future. The universe does not have a sense of humor, it has a sense of order. It fulfills the words spoken with focus, whether that focus is joyful or anxious, clear or confused. Every statement sends a message to the creative substance of life, and that substance obeys. This is not about superficial positivity or empty mantras. The word must be aligned with belief. To say, I am wealthy, while inwardly expecting struggle is to create confusion. But to say, wealth flows to me in surprising ways. with genuine openness and expectation, is to make a command that the universe can fulfill without resistance. The alignment of word and inner state is what produces the miracle. One cannot fool the law, but one can align with it. Children speak with authority because they do not yet doubt the power of their word. They declare, "I am a superhero," and in their world, it becomes so. Adults, clouded by logic and past experience, often speak with hesitation, apology, or fear. They have forgotten that they, too, once commanded worlds with a whisper. To return to that place of inner certainty is to reclaim the power of the word. It is not about becoming something new. It is about remembering what has always been true. The greatest transformations begin with a change in language. When a person who once said, "Nothing ever works out for me," begins to say, "Everything is working together for my highest good," the entire fabric of their life begins to shift. It may not happen in a moment, but it begins in a moment, the moment the word changes. That moment is the turning point. The command goes forth, and life rearranges itself accordingly. This law operates whether or not one is spiritually minded or religious. It is not dependent on belief in a particular doctrine. It is a universal principle, like gravity, responding to vibration, intention, and energy. A scientist, a poet, a mother, or a laborer all speak into existence their reality through the words they use. The titles do not matter. The law responds to the speaker, not the label. The difference between struggle and success, between confusion and clarity, between lack and abundance often lies in a single shift of language, not grand speeches or poetic verses, but small daily declarations. Instead of, "I can't afford this," say, "How can I afford this?" Instead of, "I'm always tired," say, "I am restoring my energy." These are not lies, they are invitations to a better reality. They are choices made consciously to command something new. Each morning, as the sun rises, the words spoken into the air create the framework for the day. To begin with complaint is to command discord. To begin with gratitude is to command harmony. Even the most mundane words, spoken over breakfast, while getting dressed, during a phone call, carry the seed of future experience. To live with this awareness is not to become fearful or rigid, but empowered. One begins to choose words like treasures, each one valuable, each one shaping the path ahead. People often ask for change, pray for miracles, or wish for a new life, not realizing that the answer lies on their own tongue. They wait for the world to change before they speak differently. But the world does not lead, the word leads. The outer cannot shift without an inner command. That command is not shouted, begged, or forced. It is spoken, firmly and faithfully, as a master issues instructions to a trusted servant. Life is that servant waiting, listening, ready to obey. Change begins the moment you speak it with conviction. Nothing moves until something is declared. The universe, vast and responsive, awaits a signal, a spark of focused intention carried by the spoken word. The moment you speak, you initiate. You may not see the effects instantly, but the currents begin to shift the moment the command is released. You are not waiting for life to change. Life is waiting for you to speak change into it. That is the divine paradox. The external responds to the internal, and the internal gains momentum through declaration. Most people wait for signs, for better circumstances, for something outside themselves to show them it's time to begin anew. They linger in delay, hoping that life will first improve before they choose better words. But the flow does not work that way. It begins within. You must speak what you seek. You must name the change. A decision is made with words, quiet or loud, it does not matter. The energy behind it makes all the difference. Conviction gives the word wings. To speak with conviction is to speak from a place of knowing, even when physical evidence has not yet arrived. It is to stand in faith when logic trembles. It is to use the power of your word to build the bridge from the unseen to the seen. Many whisper timid hopes into the wind, unsure if their voice carries any weight. But when you speak with certainty, with emotional alignment, with an inner yes, the air shifts. Change is not coerced into being, it is commanded. The power of speech lies not merely in sound, but in certainty. You may speak something dozens of times with no change, simply because you do not believe it. But say it once with full conviction, and the wheels of destiny turn. There is no need for repetition without faith. One declaration, spoken with soul, surpasses 1,000 empty affirmations. Conviction opens the gate and the river flows. A person may live in the same conditions for years, believing they are stuck, until one day they speak a different word. Enough. I'm ready for something new. That one moment, that clear decision vocalized with power, marks the beginning of transformation. It is not always dramatic or visible, but internally, a shift occurs. The word cuts through the fog. The statement becomes a sword, dividing the old from the new. There is before the word, and there is after. It is not necessary to know every step ahead. The command to change does not require a map, only a voice. Speak the end from the beginning. Declare the new before it arrives. Say, I am aligned with abundance, even if the bank account is empty. Say, I am healthy and whole, even if symptoms persist. You are not lying. You are leading. You are not ignoring reality. You are reordering it through the higher law of belief. Conviction is the signal that tells the universe, this one is ready. Conviction is not force. It is not the clenched jaw or the shouting demand. It is the still, rooted tone that says, this is who I am now. There is no need to argue, no need to convince. When conviction is real, there is no inner contradiction. The whole being is aligned. You do not speak one thing and think another. You do not affirm light while secretly fearing the dark. You are united in intention, word, and emotion. In this state, your word is magnetic. People often speak what they see, not what they desire. They speak their complaints, their doubts, their history. But this only extends the current reality. True change requires speaking beyond the scene. It demands a bold word in the face of contradiction. To speak change with conviction is to become the author of a new narrative. It is not to ignore facts, but to declare a higher truth. You say, I choose peace, not because all is peaceful, but because peace is now your command. You say, I rise, not because you have risen, but because your voice lifts you. Each time you speak with power, you are shifting timelines. You are stepping into alignment with a future that matches your words. The conviction with which you speak determines the speed and precision of that alignment. Half-hearted words create confusion. Words spoken with fear create resistance. But words rooted in faith draw the fulfillment swiftly. You do not need to know how. It is not your task to orchestrate the path. Your role is to speak the command with belief. Change does not require external permission. You do not need approval from others, signs from the heavens, or confirmation from circumstances. You only need to declare. The most profound changes often begin in silence, with one decisive statement whispered in the solitude of your soul. That one moment of clarity sends out ripples that touch everything. The outside may seem unchanged for a time, but the seed has been planted, and the harvest is inevitable. Many fear to speak change because they do not want to be disappointed. They say, what if I declare and nothing happens? But the greater risk is in saying nothing. The greater danger is in letting fear steal your voice. Your word is not powerless. It is powerful when spoken with conviction. And even if the change unfolds slowly, even if it comes disguised in unexpected ways, it will come. The law cannot deny the word that is aligned with truth and spoken in full belief. To speak change is to break the cycle. It is to interrupt the momentum of the past and insert a new pattern. The longer one waits to speak the word, the more entrenched the old story becomes. But the moment the word of change is declared, the energy begins to reorganize. Delay ends. A new vibration enters the field. This is not imagination, it is creation. You are not daydreaming, you are commanding. Change does not obey the clock, it obeys the word. There is no right time but now, and now responds to conviction. Every time you declare, I am ready, you advance. Every time you say, I choose better, the old begins to dissolve. The word carries the blueprint, and the blueprint becomes structure. This is how all new realities are built. Unspoken conviction, firm and fearless. To speak change is to honor your power. It is to stop waiting and start creating. The moment you say, "I am not who I was," something shifts. The moment you say, "This is my new story," the pages begin to turn. Even if you do not yet see the full picture, trust the echo of your voice. The universe has heard it. The vibration has been registered. Life has received its new instruction. It is not about shouting into the void. It is about speaking from within the silence with authority. You may be standing in the same room, in the same clothes, surrounded by the same people. But once your word changes, so does everything else. The inner signal is stronger than the outer scene. Speak with conviction, and the unseen moves in your favor. Conviction is the key that turns the lock. It is the yes that opens doors. It is the light that reveals the path. When you say, "I am no longer available for what no longer serves me," the world listens. When you say, "I receive my good now," the energy aligns. The moment you speak change with conviction, you are no longer bound by history. You are free. Limiting language blocks transformation. Words are not simply tools for expression, they are containers of belief. Every sentence spoken carries within it an assumption, a seed of reality that takes root in the subconscious and grows according to the energy behind it. When you speak in terms of limitation, phrases like, "I can't," "It's too late," "I'm not good enough," or "This always happens to me," you are not merely describing your life. You are prescribing it. You are placing invisible walls around what is possible and instructing life to conform to those boundaries. The subconscious mind does not argue or reason. It accepts repeated statements as truth and acts accordingly. If you continuously affirm that success is difficult, that love never lasts, or that opportunities are scarce, then your inner world molds itself around those declarations. And as within, so without. Life becomes a mirror, reflecting those inner limits outward into relationships, career, health, and self-worth. There is no neutral language. Every word either expands or contracts your experience. People often do not realize the power behind their most casual statements. "I'm terrible with money," they say with a shrug, unaware they are issuing a command. "I never catch a break," they joke, reinforcing a cycle of resistance. Even phrases used for politeness or self-deprecation can become powerful affirmations. The law is not concerned with tone or intention, it responds to vibration. A negative phrase spoken with humor still carries the energetic imprint of limitation. Limiting language becomes habitual, a kind of linguistic muscle memory formed over years of repetition and observation. It is passed down through families, reinforced by cultural norms, and solidified through past experiences. We've always struggled with this. One might say believing it is simply a fact. But what seems factual is often only a repeated pattern, a story told so often it has become real. Changing the language is the first step toward changing the story. You cannot speak of lack and expect abundance. You cannot speak of sickness and expect vitality. You cannot speak fear and live in peace. The words must match the desired outcome. If they do not, there is contradiction, and contradiction stalls momentum. The energy becomes divided. One part of you hopes for transformation, while another part continues to reinforce the very state you seek to leave behind. In this tug of war, the stronger side always wins, and often, the limiting language has been spoken so long it has become louder than your desire. To break free from limitation, you must become aware of your words. Begin to notice the phrases you use unconsciously. Pay attention to what you declare about yourself, your circumstances, and others. Language is not only what you speak out loud, it is also what you whisper in your mind. Thoughts are unspoken words, and they carry the same weight. Replacing limiting language with empowered language is not pretending. It is reprogramming. It is rewriting the script that governs your reality. You may think, "But I'm only telling the truth." And yet, truth is fluid. What you declare as true becomes true for you. You are not denying facts when you choose better words. You are choosing to align with a higher possibility. Saying, "I'm learning how to manage money wisely," is not denying your current struggle. It is reframing it in a way that opens the door to change. Saying, "I'm becoming stronger every day," is not ignoring pain, it is commanding growth. There is a vast difference between observation and identification. You can observe a challenge without identifying with it. You can acknowledge the facts of a moment without making them your identity. Limiting language blurs this line. It fuses the temporary with the permanent. It turns passing feelings into fixed labels. "I'm anxious" becomes more than a description, it becomes a definition. And once something is defined, it is repeated. And once it is repeated, it becomes reality. The transformation begins with subtle shifts. Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "I've learned from my past and I'm growing." Instead of, "I never get what I want," say, "Good things are beginning to flow into my life." These are not lies, they are realignments. They open the channel for a new experience. The subconscious accepts these new commands and begins to work in their direction. Energy follows intention, and intention is expressed through words. Some will resist this idea, thinking it's too simplistic. They may say, "Words can't change everything." But look around. Everything you now experience was once described by words. Someone said, "Let's build this. Let's go there. This is who I am. This is what I'll do." Words precede actions. Words shape beliefs. Beliefs shape behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. The transformation of any life begins not at the level of doing, but at the level of speaking. Children understand this intuitively. They speak in possibility. They say, "I can be anything. I can do anything. Watch me." There is no limitation in their vocabulary until it is taught to them. Over time, they learn to speak caution instead of courage, doubt instead of determination. But the original voice remains within. To rediscover your power, you must rediscover your original language, the language of expansion, hope, and creative command. Limiting language not only affects the self, but also influences those around you. When you continually speak discouragement, fear, or doubt, you project that limitation onto others. You dim their vision as well as your own. Conversely, when you speak with belief, encouragement, and optimism, you uplift those within your field. Your words become permission for others to grow. Your speech becomes a vessel of transformation, not just for you, but for your environment. The shift in language often precedes any visible change. People may look at their lives and say, "But nothing's different yet," as if waiting for the outer world to validate the new words. But transformation begins invisibly. First within the energy field, then in behavior, then in circumstance. The seed is spoken, the roots form, the sprout emerges. Just because you cannot see the result yet does not mean it is not forming. Trust the process and keep speaking in alignment with the future you desire. To eliminate limiting language, you must replace it with conscious language. This requires attention, commitment, and repetition. Begin with simple affirmations that feel believable. Choose statements that open rather than close. Avoid absolutes like always and never, and instead use words like beginning, growing, becoming. These words signal motion, evolution, and expansion. They tell the subconscious we are no longer stuck. This is not about perfection. You will still catch yourself slipping into old patterns. What matters is the awareness and the willingness to correct course. Each time you replace a limiting phrase with an empowering one, you weaken the old neural pathway and strengthen a new one. Eventually, the empowering language becomes the default. You begin to speak from your potential, not your past. Language is your magic. It is the spell you cast each day. It is the code that writes your reality. Speak limitation, and you will see it. Speak freedom, and you will feel it. Speak expansion, and you will live it. Your voice is the pen, and your life is the canvas. Choose the words that paint the picture you want to live inside. Speak as the person you desire to become. This is not about pretending or playing a role. It is about aligning your vibration with your vision. Every word you speak is either a reflection of your past or a declaration of your future. When you choose to speak from the self you wish to embody, you begin to collapse the distance between where you are and where you are going. The voice carries identity, and when the identity shifts, reality follows. If you continually speak as the version of yourself bound by limitation, fear, or failure, you prolong that experience. But when you speak with the confidence, clarity, and certainty of the future version of you, the version that already has what you seek, you step into a different frequency. That frequency draws matching experiences. This principle is not built on fantasy, it is built on energetic law. Who you identify as becomes what you expect. What you expect becomes how you act. How you act becomes what you receive. Speaking from your future self is an act of creative intention. It is how you summon the unseen. You do not wait for the outer world to catch up. You speak as though it already has. You declare, you affirm, you claim. Not because it is already visible, but because it is already real in the unseen. You begin to treat the invisible as more powerful than the visible. Many wait for change before they shift their language. They wait until the success arrives to call themselves successful. They wait for the relationship to declare themselves worthy of love. They wait for healing before they speak of strength. But this delay traps them in the old identity. The becoming never begins because the declaration never does. You do not have to fake confidence. You have to speak from the part of you that already knows. That part exists within. It is not an invention, but a revelation. It speaks through inspiration, through vision, through the inner yes that rises when you imagine something more. You are always speaking from some version of yourself. The question is which one? Are your words shaped by the self who feels stuck, small, afraid? Or are they shaped by the self who has already risen, who already knows, who already sees the mountaintop? To speak as your future self is to bring that version of you into the now. It is to pull the dream into the present through the bridge of your voice. Your words are time travelers. They carry energy across timelines. They send signals into the quantum field, telling it which version of you to materialize. This does not mean ignoring your present circumstances. It means refusing to let them define your vocabulary. It means speaking from a deeper truth than what is currently visible. You may be facing debt, but you speak as someone who manages money wisely and calls in abundance. You may be feeling lonely, but you speak as someone who is magnetic to loving, supportive relationships. This is not delusion. It is creation. You are not denying what is, you are declaring what will be. And the declaration sets the shift in motion. The moment you speak from your desired self, you change your posture. You carry yourself differently. You make different choices. You say yes to what aligns and no to what doesn't. Your boundaries shift. Your habits shift. Your relationships shift. Because your identity has shifted. When you say, I am no longer available for struggle, your life begins to organize itself around ease. When you say, I show up as my highest self, your days begin to reflect that energy. The words come first. They are the architects of the new foundation. Language is a signal. It tells your nervous system what to expect. It tells your energy field what to attract. It tells others how to treat you. When you speak with clarity, calm, and power, you communicate self-respect. When you speak with indecision, apology, or desperation, you communicate self-doubt. People respond to the vibration of your voice, even more than the content of your message. Speak from your future self, and people begin to treat you accordingly. The world meets you at your level of expectation. This practice requires awareness. You must begin to catch the moments when your language reflects the old self. The complaints, the fears, the stories you've repeated for years, they are not facts, they are patterns. And patterns can be interrupted. Begin to pause before you speak. Ask, who is speaking right now? Is this the version of me who feels powerless, or the one who knows her worth? Is this the voice of my limitations, or the voice of my expansion? Every sentence is a choice. Every sentence is a spell. You do not have to speak grand affirmations all day long. Sometimes the most powerful statements are simple. I've got this. This is just the beginning. I'm stepping into something greater. I can handle it. These are phrases your future self would use. Not because everything is perfect, but because she trusts herself. Speaking this way becomes a habit. A new tone begins to dominate your conversations, your inner dialogue, your presence. You become the evidence of your next level. This is not about arrogance. It is about ownership. There is no need to inflate or exaggerate. You are not trying to convince anyone. You are choosing to walk in alignment with your becoming. You are deciding to let the old story go. You are choosing to speak from the knowing that what you desire is not only possible, it's already on its way. And because it's on its way, you begin to speak like someone who knows that. You release the language of waiting. You release the vocabulary of lack. You release the identity of not yet. You step into the now of your next chapter. When you speak as your desired self, you create internal safety. You remind yourself of who you are becoming. You remind your nervous system that change is not a threat, but a homecoming. You create resonance between your words and your vision, and that resonance has power. It makes you magnetic. Opportunities begin to come. Support appears. Synchronicities unfold. Not because of luck, but because your vibration has changed and your world is responding. This requires courage. There will be moments when your outer world challenges your new language. Old conditions will test your declarations. People may not understand your shift, but your job is not to explain your transformation to others. It is to honor it within yourself. Every time you speak from your future, you strengthen that reality. Every time you declare who you are becoming, you anchor that identity. Your voice is the bridge. Your voice is the invitation. Your voice is the activator. The person you desire to become already exists. That version of you is not far away. It is a frequency you can tune into now. One of the fastest ways to tune into it is through speech. Not just what you say, but how you say it. Speak with grace. Speak with confidence. Speak with vision. Speak with presence. Let your words reflect your worth, your clarity, your direction. Let your language become the container for the life you are calling in. Speak as if it is already done. Speak as if you are already there. Speak from the self who has walked through the fire, claimed her crown, and come home to her truth. Divine law responds instantly to faith-filled commands. This is not a theory or a metaphor, but a spiritual certainty that governs the movement of energy, manifestation, and form. The universe, infinite in intelligence and precision, is always listening, always responding. It does not delay because of complexity, nor does it hesitate out of judgment. The delay comes only from the wavering mind of the one who commands without belief. But when a word is spoken in faith, clear, unwavering, and rooted in spiritual confidence, the response is immediate. Even if the physical unfolding appears gradual, the law begins its work in that instant, arranging, aligning, and moving in ways beyond the limits of human planning. Faith is the activator. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between the seed and the harvest. To speak without faith is to speak empty words, sound without substance, form without force. But to speak with faith is to strike a match in the dark, to send a pulse through the field of infinite potential. Faith-filled speech is charged with a power that bypasses limitation. It is not loudness that moves the heavens. It is certainty. It is the quiet authority that says, "It is done," and leaves no room for doubt. The law is divine because it is perfect. It does not play favorites, nor does it choose based on worthiness, background, or status. It operates through alignment. The soul that speaks from faith, knowing that their word is law, aligns with the higher rhythm of creation. They do not plead, they declare. They do not wish, they decide. They do not question, they trust. This trust is not blind. It is rooted in spiritual intelligence, in the deep awareness that all things are already completed in the realm of the unseen. And that faith is the substance which brings them forth. Many speak, but few command. Many ask, but few believe they have already received. The divine law does not wait for time. It waits for alignment. The moment the heart and the word agree, the moment intention and vibration merge, the signal is sent. You may not see the manifestation with your physical eyes immediately, but in the unseen, the creation has begun. The blueprint is drawn. The structure is forming, the path is clearing. It is not a question of if. It is a matter of unfolding. Faith-filled commands are not passive. They do not beg for permission. They do not tremble with uncertainty. They speak as co-creators, as divine beings in full remembrance of their authority. When you speak in this way, you do not ask the universe to make something happen. You know it already has. You do not look for signs to convince yourself. You become the sign. You do not measure the size of the problem. You speak from the size of your power. You say, "This is so," and you move forward as if it is already done. To speak in faith requires that you silence the inner critic, the doubter, the skeptic. These voices belong to the realm of fear, not truth. They echo old programs, old wounds, old limitations. But faith speaks from the soul, not the story. Faith draws from the knowing that beneath the noise of the world is a deeper reality. One where your word is creative, your intention is sacred, and your alignment is magnetic. Every moment you speak in faith, you override the noise. You elevate your frequency. You call forth the new. There is a vast difference between hoping something will happen and knowing it has already been set in motion. Hope is valuable, but faith is foundational. Hope carries the wish, faith carries the conviction. Divine law is not moved by hesitation. It is moved by certainty. This certainty does not come from evidence, but from inner alignment. When your inner being agrees with your word, you have entered the place of power. From that place, all things are possible. You do not need to be loud to speak in faith. Some of the most powerful commands are spoken in a whisper, a silent prayer, a single word released with full presence. Yes. Now. Dune. These words, when spoken from alignment, carry more force than 1,000 affirmations spoken with doubt. The universe does not count your words. It reads your energy. It measures your belief, your clarity, your alignment with truth. Speak less if you must, but speak with more conviction. Say only what you mean. Declare only what you desire. Let your words carry weight. Faith-filled commands do not bargain with the divine. They do not say, "If I'm good enough, then this will happen," or "Maybe if I try harder, it will come." Faith says, "It is mine," not because of merit, but because of alignment. The divine law responds to vibration, not pleading. The universe is not withholding anything. It is waiting for your yes. That yes is spoken not in desperation, but in delight. It is a yes that expects fulfillment. It is a yes that walks forward with peace. To speak in faith is to walk in vision. You see what is not yet visible and treat it as real. You honor the dream not because of what it looks like now, but because of what it truly is. Divine law sees no difference between a dream and a reality. It only sees command. It only sees the clarity of the one who speaks. If you speak from lack, you prolong lack. If you speak from fullness, you accelerate fulfillment. The law does not edit your words. It fulfills them. There is no condition that can override divine law. Circumstances may appear fixed, but the moment of faith-filled command is spoken, they begin to shift. The soul that knows their authority does not fear appearances. They speak, and they keep speaking, not to convince the world, but to remain anchored in their truth. They know the power of repetition, not as ritual, but as reinforcement. Each time they speak from faith, they deepen the groove of belief, and belief is the soil where miracles grow. Divine law is not slow, it is precise. It does not make errors, it follows instruction. You are the instructor, you are the voice it responds to. When you speak from fear, it obeys. When you speak from doubt, it obeys. But when you speak from faith, from clarity, from joy, it brings forth outcomes that transcend logic. It opens doors you did not knock on. It sends help you did not ask for. It moves in ways that astonish the mind. Not because it is miraculous, but because it is lawful. You are never without power because you are never without your word. You carry the instrument of creation with you at all times. You do not need rituals, titles, or permission. You need only the courage to speak as one who knows. You need only the willingness to trust that the unseen is more real than the seen. You need only the discipline to speak with intention rather than reaction. Faith is not a feeling. It is a stance. It is the inner yes that remains firm, regardless of what the outer world reflects. The more you speak in faith, the more natural it becomes. You no longer ask, "What if it doesn't happen?" You say, "It already has." You no longer say, "I hope it works out." You say, "It is working now." Your words become less about requesting and more about revealing. You speak not to get something, but to embody something. You speak not to fix the world, but to align with the version of the world you know exists. Faith does not wait, it declares. Faith does not wonder, it knows. Faith does not question, it commands. And the divine law responds without hesitation to the one who speaks in truth.
Are you ready, child of God? Ready to rise into your divine inheritance? Ready to claim the wealth that already belongs to you by law, by spirit, by right? Then silence the noise of fear, still the chatter of doubt, and open your soul, for I do not come to entertain your mind. I come to stir your spirit. The word is wealth. The word is now. The word is yours. And let me declare from the mountaintop of knowing, you were never meant to chase money. Money was always meant to recognize your voice and obey your command. For I speak not from human logic, but from the mind of the Christ within, that divine part of you that is untouched by lack, untouched by delay, untouched by limitation. The Christ within you has never known poverty. The Christ within you has never begged for bread. The Christ within you has never questioned its power. It simply is. It simply knows. And when it speaks, it manifests. Let the soul remember what the world made you forget. Let the spirit awaken from the hypnosis of smallness. Let your words become the rod and the staff that lead you into green pastures. For the Lord is your shepherd, and in divine mind there is no lack. Say it now with me, wherever you are. Let the walls hear it. Let the bank accounts feel it. Let the heavens witness it. I do not chase money. Money flows to me now by divine right. My voice is a magnet for miracles. My thoughts are holy. My words are wealth. So it is. Child, when your thought is aligned with spiritual law, time becomes your servant, not your master. The delay collapses, the door opens, and the treasure is revealed, not created, but revealed, because it was already there in the kingdom. For the kingdom of God is not in far-off places, it is within you, not someday, but now, not for someone else, but you, not in theory, but in practice. As I have written, there is a supply for every demand, not some demands, not reasonable demands. Every righteous demand, spoken in faith, activates the supply that was waiting in the invisible. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on your belief. You are not waiting on provision. Provision is waiting on your declaration. The $50 million does not come because you worked hard enough for it. It comes because you believed boldly enough for it. I once spoke with a woman who came to me, full of despair. Her home was lost. Her funds were gone. But I told her, declare what you desire, and refuse to speak of appearances. She said, Florence, that sounds too simple. And I said, spiritual law is always simple. Man complicates what God has made clear. She began to say aloud, daily, I walk in abundance. My wealth appears by divine right. I am open to unexpected channels. 3 days later, a family inheritance from years past suddenly resurfaced through a forgotten legal process. It was enough to pay off her debt and place her in a beautiful home again. She didn't strive. She didn't hustle. She aligned. She confessed. She received. And now I ask you, what will you speak into form today? What invisible riches are waiting for your voice to give them body? What miracle is hanging on the hinge of your belief? Let us speak again. I live in a field of favor. $50 million is not too big for the infinite. I receive wealth now, not later, not someday, now. So it is, so it is, so it is. The gate is open. The gate is open, so walk through it boldly. Do not knock as a beggar. Do not whisper like one unworthy. Do not delay at the threshold, waiting for permission. The kingdom is not timid. The kingdom is not silent. The kingdom is yours, and it operates through thought, through word, through unwavering alignment. Let me ask you, beloved, what is the true thought process that opens the vaults of heaven? It is not worry. It is not logic. It is not desperation. It is alignment, the sacred inner knowing that your thoughts, your words, and your expectation are one with divine law. And this alignment is no mystery. It begins not with the outer world, but with the inner authority of the Word. For the Word is creative power. The Word is the architect. The Word builds the form from the formless. It is written, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." John 1:1. So when you speak from alignment, you do not speak as a human hoping. You speak as a God being commanding. You speak as a child of the Most High, creating with the same energy that shaped the stars. Say now with fire in your spirit, "My words are wealth. My thoughts are aligned with divine riches. My expectation is law." Let your thoughts become a temple, not a prison. Let your inner language mirror the riches you are calling forth. Do not say, "I can't afford it." Say, "Infinite supply flows through me now." Do not say, "It's hard to make money." Say, "Money comes easily, richly, and frequently by divine right." The old world taught you to think in limits. The kingdom teaches you to think in truth. The old world said, "Earn every dollar with sweat." The kingdom says, "Command wealth with belief." I remember a gentleman who had lost everything. He walked into my office, holding nothing but fear and a tattered envelope. I asked him, "What do you believe about money?" He said, "That it's gone." I said, "Then your belief has already made it so." I instructed him to change his thought process, not by trying, but by knowing. I had him speak aloud, morning and night. "Everything I lost is divinely restored. I am a perfect channel for wealth." Within 1 week, he was contacted by a company he had once applied to. They offered him a consulting position at double his last salary. It was not the resume. It was not the timing. It was not even the company. It was the alignment. He moved into mental agreement with wealth, and wealth moved toward him like iron to a magnet. Child of God, you must understand this. Money is not outside of you. Money is an effect, not a cause. The cause is your thought. The cause is your word. The cause is your vibration. Now speak this with holy boldness, as one aligned with heaven. I do not ask for riches. I expect them. I do not wait for money. I welcome it. I do not shrink. I expand. I am aligned with infinite wealth. So it is. This is not blasphemy. This is not arrogance. This is your divine inheritance. For the meek shall inherit the earth, and the meek are not the weak, they are the aligned. So rise today, align your thought, align your words, align your expectation, and the outer world shall mirror your inner decree. The gate is open. Now that the mind is awakened and the spirit is aligned, now that thought has bowed before truth, now that the inner soil is tilled and ready, we move into the power of confession, not the confession of guilt, not the confession of sin, but the bold confession of identity, the holy proclamation of what already is. For child of the Most High, heaven does not move by your need, it moves by your word. God already knows the need, the universe already sees the desire. But until you speak, until you claim, until you confess, the angels cannot be dispatched, and the gates cannot pour. It is written, "Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee." Job 22. 28. Do not whisper this verse, proclaim it. Do not repeat it as a quote. Live it as law. You must understand this. Confession is not passive. It is prophetic. It is the moment when thought becomes flesh. It is the instant when the invisible bows before your authority and becomes visible form. There is no room for doubt in confession. Doubt pollutes the altar. Fear weakens the vibration. Timidity cancels the order. Confess with me now, as one seated in heavenly places. I am a millionaire by divine design. I am the vessel for $50 million of impact, influence, and increase. I am the head and not the tail. I am the lender, not the borrower. I am already supplied. So it is. Do you feel that shift in the atmosphere? That is spiritual alignment, activated through confession. Let me share a moment from my own ministry. A young woman once came to me and said, "Miss Shinn, I have spoken affirmations, but nothing changes." I asked her, "Have you confessed with belief or merely with repetition?" For you see, words without belief are noise, but words spoken from conviction move mountains. She adjusted her spirit. She stood tall in her kitchen, with nothing but bills on her table, and she declared out loud, "God is my instant and constant supply. Unexpected money flows to me in perfect ways. I am rich now." Within 2 days, she received a letter, a forgotten savings bond from her childhood, worth $10,000, had matured. She cried, but I smiled, because I know the word never returns void. It may travel through hidden tunnels, it may come through unexpected vessels, but it always returns with power. And I tell you now, if you dare confess it boldly, repeatedly, joyfully, your $50 million will not just come, it will run. For money is not stubborn, it is obedient. It responds to the voice of truth. It rushes to the one who speaks from faith. Say this with me. $50 million is mine by divine inheritance. I confess wealth, and wealth appears. I speak prosperity, and the soil bears fruit. I declare overflow, and heaven responds. So it is. Do not merely think these words. Speak them, sing them, write them. Stand in front of the mirror and declare them until the mirror reflects a millionaire back to you. You do not need to beg God. God is not holding back. You need only speak like one who knows that nothing is missing, nothing is broken, and nothing is impossible. This is not magic. This is not fantasy. This is law, spiritual law, the law of assumption, the law of belief, the law of confession. All roads lead to manifestation, but only for those bold enough to say it. The gate is open. And now, beloved, the stage is set. The thought has aligned. The word has gone forth. The confession has opened the heavens. Now, we enter the realm of manifestation. This is not imagination. This is not fantasy. This is the harvest season of the Spirit, where what you thought and what you spoke now meets you in physical form. You must know this deep in your bones. Manifestation is not the surprise of the universe. It is the obedience of the universe. It is not a miracle you earn. It is a result you command. For the law is unshaken. The law is mechanical. And when your vibration matches your vision, when your words become the signature of faith, what was unseen will come forth as surely as day follows night. It is written, "Call those things which be not as though they were." Romans 4:17. Call it, summon it, command it. The word must become flesh. It must dwell among you. I tell you, manifestation is not waiting in some distant realm. It is standing beside you like a servant, waiting only for your final yes, not from your lips, but from your frequency. A man once came to me, desperate for financial rescue. He had tried everything: strategies, loans, business mentors, yet still no fruit. I said, "You have used every human tool, but you have not used the law." He stared, unsure. I continued, You must feel the $50 million as already yours. You must walk like it, dress like it, think like it, speak like it. That is how manifestation works, by embodied belief. I taught him one line, simple but nuclear. I now receive $50 million by divine right. I feel it. I welcome it. I walk in it now. He wrote it. He spoke it. He became it. And within 21 days, a dormant investment account he had forgotten was activated by a partner's sudden success. His portion $3.5 million. And I smiled and said, "This is just the beginning. Keep the vibration. The rest is on its way." And now to you I say, what vibration do you hold? Are you vibrating with fear, or are you vibrating with fulfilled prophecy? Are you echoing the old identity of lack, or are you walking in the manifestation of wealth? Say it with me, not as a request, but as a decree. I now manifest $50 million. I see it. I feel it. I hold it in my hands. My mind is a divine bank. My heart is a wealthy field. My words are the keys, and the vault is open. So it is. Let the body respond. Let the posture change. Let the spine straighten. Let the breath deepen. Let your face reflect the one who already has it. Do not sabotage the harvest by speaking what you see. Speak only what you want to see. Speak the outcome, not the obstacle. Speak the fruit, not the famine. For manifestation is not birthed by facts. It is birthed by faith. And your $50 million is already complete in the invisible. You are not waiting on money. Money is waiting on your confirmation. So today, sign the contract with your vibration. Seal the agreement with your words. Deliver the instruction with your feeling. And watch heaven bring it to pass with stunning ease. This is not wishful thinking. This is prophetic knowing. You are not hoping. You are receiving. Declare it now. This is my moment of manifestation. $50 million is mine by spiritual law. I rejoice before I see. I celebrate before it arrives. I honor the law, and the law honors me. So it is. The gate is open. Child of God, you have entered the current of manifestation. You have spoken what was hidden. You have called forth the invisible riches. And now, you must learn the art of holding the field, for the door that opens must not be closed by doubt. The seed that sprouts must not be uprooted by fear. The harvest must not be lost to emotional famine. Many receive the miracle, but few sustain the vibration that kept it flowing. This is the hour of keeping guarding, preserving your wealth frequency. And how do we do that? We do it by repetition, by sacred remembrance, by non-negotiable joy. It is written, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Romans 12:2. Not a once-a-week renewal, not a Sunday sermon kind of faith, but a daily, moment-by-moment decision to stay in the vibration of the already done. Hear me now. Money does not just come to your life, it comes to your mindset. And the moment you shift back into fear, anxiety, or unworthiness, you do not lose the money. You lose the magnetism. It is not the external that controls the supply. It is the internal confession that sustains the current. A woman once told me, "Florence, I manifested a large sum, but then everything fell apart." And I asked her, "Did your vibration remain intact? Or did your old story come back to sit at your table?" She wept. She said, "I thought I had to grab and cling." I told her, "Money does not come by grasping, it comes by grace." You must remain in the posture of divine non-resistance. You must become the kind of person who carries $50 million energy, whether there is $5 or $5 million in the account, because the account reflects the field, not the other way around. So let us speak together. I hold the field. I do not waver. I do not shrink. I am a walking wealth portal. I remain in faith. I remain in overflow. I remain in divine agreement. So it is. You are not maintaining money. You are maintaining alignment. You are not chasing opportunity. You are nurturing identity. You are not measuring by appearances. You are trusting the flow that never runs dry. Money has ears, beloved. It listens for vibration. It follows praise. It flees from fear. So if you wish to sustain wealth, you must sustain the song of wealth. Declare it again now with rhythm and breath. $50 million stays with me. It multiplies with me. It obeys me. I walk in financial dominion. My joy is my security. My peace is my portfolio. My faith is my fortune. So it is. And when the world offers you panic, do not answer. When the bank account dips, do not flinch. When delays come, do not lower your tone. Raise your knowing. This is the field where the miraculous becomes your normal. This is the gate where supply has no shortage. This is the space where wealth has no sorrow. And this is the life you were born to live, not in survival, but in sovereignty. So I say again, sustain the field, nurture the energy, protect the throne of your thoughts, because what you maintain in vibration will manifest in multiplication. Say it once more, with power and peace. I am sustained by divine wealth. I do not fall back. I do not lose ground. My $50 million is planted, protected, and perpetually growing. So it is. The gate is open. Now hear this, child of the infinite. You must never forget the origin of true wealth. For if you seek only the outer riches without first receiving the inner crown, you may build a palace on sand, but it will not stand when the winds rise. Spiritual riches come first. They are the foundation upon which material treasures rest. Without them, the $50 million becomes a burden, but with them, it becomes a blessing. It is written, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Matthew 6:33. Not some things, all things, wealth, property, investments, unexpected income, overflowing bank accounts, added unto you like grapes upon the vine. When you first seek the kingdom consciousness, and what is this kingdom? It is not a far-off city in the clouds. It is not reserved for the worthy few. The kingdom is a state of mind. It is the dominion of God within you. It is the throne of truth, where peace rules and lack cannot enter. When you align with this inner kingdom, money becomes your servant, not your master. It multiplies because it is magnetized by your spiritual weight, not your hustle, not your worry, not your effort, but your peace. I once knew a man who earned millions, but feared losing it. He was rich in banknotes, but poor in spirit. He slept with anxiety, woke with panic. And I told him, "You have money but no supply. You must return to the source." He began practicing this one affirmation: God is my immediate and unlimited supply. No person, place, or condition controls my wealth. Within months, his nervous habits fell away. He began giving, not hoarding, and his investments tripled in value. Why? Because he had aligned with spiritual wealth, and the material followed. Say it now, and feel it echo through every cell. I am spiritually wealthy. I dwell in the kingdom. My soul is rich, and therefore, my life is rich. The supply is unshakable. The source is unstoppable. So it is. This $50 million you are calling in, it is not for ego. It is not for flex. It is not to prove your worth. It is a tool of kingdom expansion. It is fuel for your divine assignment. It is the outer manifestation of your inner alignment. You are not manifesting just for yourself. You are manifesting for generations. You are manifesting to build legacies. You are manifesting to break chains. But all of it begins with spiritual sight, the inner eyes that see wealth where others see lack, the inner ears that hear opportunity where others hear rejection, the inner heart that believes in miracles before they form. This is the field where all things are possible. This is the dimension where ideas become assets. This is the vibration where $50 million becomes easy. So declare with reverence and fire: I seek the kingdom first. I am rich in love, rich in peace, rich in wisdom. Money is my servant. God is my source. My wealth is holy. So it is. Do not fear the rise. Do not dim your light. Do not question if it's too much. For the Lord delights in your abundance, and there is no glory in poverty. There is only power in purpose. So go forth with the robe of righteousness. Speak as one already crowned, walk as one already entrusted, receive as one already chosen, because, child of spirit, you are. The gate is open. And now, beloved, we stand at the end of the beginning. You have walked through the gates. You have received the revelation. You have aligned your thoughts. You have confessed your truth. You have manifested the first fruits. You have anchored your vibration in the divine. You have clothed yourself with spiritual riches. Now I speak over you, not as a teacher, but as a vessel of prophetic utterance. Let this word go forth as a benediction, a sealing, a supernatural finality that awakens the inheritance already inscribed in the books of heaven. Hear me now with spirit ears, for this is not just a message, this is an activation. You were never meant to struggle. You were never meant to beg. You were never meant to be small. You were born to demonstrate the law, to prove the unseen, to walk in such supernatural provision that even the doubters fall silent. You were born to receive with ease what others strive for in pain, not because you are more special, but because you are more aligned. Your faith is your faucet. Your word is your wealth. Your belief is your bank. And as of this moment, I speak it with spiritual precision. Your $50 million is done. Not in the future now, not someday, this day, not for someone else. For you, you are the one. You are the receiver. You are the walking revelation. Let the vibration of this word move through every realm, through government doors and financial gates, through hidden vaults and untapped resources, through ideas, land, stock, inheritance, and divine connection. May banks call you, may clients find you, may wealth attach to you and refuse to leave. Say it one final time with full conviction. I am the embodiment of divine wealth. I walk in the overflow. I live in the flow. I receive now, without resistance, the full release of $50 million. My name is written on abundance. My voice commands provision. My hands hold miracles. So it is. Let every angel on assignment hear it. Let every closed door creak open. Let every dry well gush with divine supply. You will not shrink again. You will not settle again. You will not forget who you are. For the gate is not just open. The gate is you. Everywhere you walk, wealth must follow. Everything you touch must multiply. Everyone you bless must overflow. You are not just blessed. You are the blessing. Go now. Write it. Speak it. Teach it. Live it. This is the word. This is the law. This is your moment, and it cannot be reversed. So it is, so it shall remain. The gate is eternally open. And now, beloved listener, if this message has stirred something holy within you, if your spirit has been quickened, and the floodgates have opened, then do not keep this anointing to yourself. Let the ripple reach another soul. Let the word become a wave. Speak in the comments what you now claim. Let your declaration be public. Let heaven and earth witness your faith. Write, I receive my $50 million now. So it is. And type it with conviction, as prophecy, not poetry. Like this message as a sign of agreement. Your click is not just support. It is spiritual alignment. It tells the algorithm of this universe. I choose wealth. I choose truth. I choose overflow. And share this with someone who's forgotten who they are. Remind them, awaken them, bring them back to the gate. And if you desire more truth, more word, more spiritual wealth training, then subscribe and return often. Because the gates are always open here, and the Spirit always has more to say. This is not the end. This is your turning point, and your next miracle is already scheduled. So until we meet again, stay rich in spirit, Stay bold in speech. Stay royal in thought. So it is, so it shall be, so it cannot be otherwise.
There is a divine design for each man and woman, a path so radiant and precise that when followed with faith and understanding, all things, health, wealth, happiness, flow in perfect, effortless order. The game of life is not a struggle nor a chase. It is not won by force, nor lost by circumstance. It is a spiritual unfolding, a match of the invisible against the visible, governed by immutable laws. Many walk through life blindfolded by doubt, fear, and appearances, unaware that they are the masters of their fate, the molders of their conditions, the very authors of their existence. In this great game, words are the wands and thoughts the seeds. What a man feels, imagines, and declares, so shall it be. The subconscious mind, ever fertile, never questions the seed it is given. If fed with fear, it yields failure. If nourished with faith, it blossoms with favor. Life, dear listener, is not happening to you, it is responding to you. And your only real enemy is ignorance of the law. Every soul is born rich, clothed in infinite supply. Yet many believe in lack, and so they experience it. They speak of limitation and live it. They fear misfortune and attract it. But the law is exact and without prejudice. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. The universe is a mirror, and every word, every emotion, every belief is reflected back with precision. You do not need to strive or strain to win. You need only to align, with truth, with courage, with divine certainty. In the game of life, intuition is your inner guide, and faith is your sword and shield. What your heart whispers in stillness is the voice of spirit, and it will never lead you astray. Trust it. Obey it. Delay not in the face of appearances, for what you see is only the echo of yesterday's thinking. The unseen, not the seen, is the source of all. The person who knows this walks in a charmed circle, untouched by chaos, unshaken by lack, unafraid of tomorrow. To play this game well is to speak only that which you wish to see, to affirm only that which uplifts, to imagine only that which glorifies the good. Let go of resentment, for it binds. Forgive, for it frees. Speak your word with authority, and it shall not return void. Declare your good with unwavering faith, and doors shall swing open where there were none. There is no luck in life, only law. There is no fate, only the consequence of belief. When you know this, truly know it, you begin to live, not as a pawn, but as a co-creator with the infinite. The wisdom of ages stands ready to serve you. The power that shaped the stars awaits your command. You have only to step into your authority, to remember who you are, and to claim your divine inheritance. Thoughts and words are the most powerful tools we possess in this spiritual journey called life. They are not idle expressions or fleeting notions. They are living forces, shaping our experiences, carving out our paths, and determining our reality. Every word we speak is a decree, and every thought we harbor is a blueprint. They go forth into the invisible realm and return, clothed in form, circumstance, and condition. The law of the universe is unwavering. What is impressed upon the mind will be expressed in the outer world. Therefore, to play the game of life successfully, one must guard the gate of the mind with absolute vigilance. Most people do not realize that the conditions of their lives, whether health or illness, wealth or poverty, joy or sorrow, are not accidents, nor are they determined by fate or chance. These experiences are the direct result of habitual thinking and speaking. The universe responds not to begging, not to wishing, not even to hard work in the physical sense, but to the vibration of our dominant thoughts and words. You may speak in jest, but the subconscious takes it seriously. You may declare defeat lightly, but the universe hears it as a command. Every time you say, "I can't afford it," "I always get sick," or "Nothing ever works out for me," you are playing a dangerous game. You are writing scripts for your own life, and the stage is set accordingly. The subconscious mind does not argue, it accepts what it is told. It does not reason, it records. It does not decide between good or bad, it only magnifies. So when you fill your inner world with worry, criticism, or fear, your outer world reflects those very patterns. A man who constantly complains of lack only reinforces the belief in scarcity, and life obliges by withholding supply. A woman who repeats that she is unloved and unwanted will attract circumstances that affirm her loneliness. The law is precise as within, so without. But just as we have spoken ourselves into bondage, we may speak ourselves into freedom. A single thought of truth, spoken with conviction, can cancel years of error. A single word of faith can dissolve a mountain of doubt. For every negative affirmation, there exists its positive counter. Where one has said, "I am always sick," he may now say, "Divine life flows through every cell of my being." Where one has declared, "Money slips through my fingers," she may now affirm, "Infinite substance is drawn to me in perfect abundance." These are not idle chants. They are spiritual commands. They have the power to rewire the subconscious, redirect the current of circumstance, and reorient the soul toward its divine purpose. Thoughts, when emotionalized, become even more potent. A thought accompanied by fear is dangerous. A thought wrapped in faith is powerful. That is why idle fears and angry speech must be cast out like thieves in the temple. You cannot entertain thoughts of violence, limitation, or despair and expect harmony to appear. If you dwell on the injustice of others, you shall meet with injustice. If you imagine betrayal, you will find betrayal. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor. It is literal, mechanical, and eternally creative. It receives the images you hold and the words you declare and manifests them with mathematical certainty. To think correctly is to think truth. And what is truth? That there is no lack in divine mind, that there is no disease in spirit, that there is no failure in the plan of the infinite. When you speak these truths with certainty, the outer world must rearrange itself to match the vibration. That is the law. The problem many people face is that they think truth in the morning and error by the afternoon. They affirm health at breakfast, complain of fatigue by lunch, and fear disease by dinner. They declare prosperity today and speak of bills tomorrow. Such contradictions dilute the creative power of the word. One must be consistent. The mind must be renewed daily, hourly, moment by moment. Your words should be few and filled with power. They should not be scattered like seeds on rocky soil, but sown intentionally into the rich garden of the subconscious. Every statement you make is a seed that must bear fruit, so you must choose wisely what you plant. Speak only of what you desire. Never speak of fear, failure, or frustration unless you wish to entertain them. The law does not recognize sarcasm. It does not distinguish between a joke and a command. If you say, "I'm such a fool," life will conspire to affirm your foolishness. If you say, "Things never go my way," the path will twist to reflect your belief. The secret lies not only in the conscious effort to think good thoughts, but in the deep realization that you are the very channel through which divine power flows. You are not separated from the source. You are its expression, its agent, its living proof. And because you are one with the infinite, your thoughts and words carry the weight of creative authority. When you say, "I am," you are invoking the name of the divine within. Be careful what follows those words. "I am tired" brings fatigue. "I am strong" brings strength. "I am always late" ensures delay. "I am blessed" opens the floodgates of favor. You are always creating, whether by default or by design. Your world is your mirror. If you dislike what you see, do not blame the mirror. Change the reflection by changing the image within. Life is not unfair, it is exact. And it will change the moment your thoughts and words change. There is no outside force oppressing you, only inner beliefs seeking expression. What you believe about yourself and your life will be proven true, again and again, until you decide to believe something better. To become master of the game is not to control outer events, but to discipline inner speech. It is to make your thoughts and words so aligned with truth that the outer must follow suit. The person who does this walks through life untouched by confusion, above the fray, like one who knows the rules while others guess in the dark. The spoken word is a wand. The focused thought is the sculptor's hand. Together, they chisel reality from the invisible clay of spirit. Use them wisely. Use them with intention. Use them as the spiritual tools they are, and life will begin to obey, not as a servant, but as a faithful mirror, reflecting your belief with divine accuracy. Faith is the key to all demonstration, and fear is the great destroyer. These two forces stand at opposite ends of the same axis, and whichever is held in mind with greater feeling becomes the ruling principle of one's experience. Faith is not mere hope, nor is it blind belief in something external. It is the deep knowing that what is promised by the Spirit is already accomplished in the unseen, and that it shall inevitably come to pass in the seen. Faith is a spiritual substance. It is the very essence that bridges the invisible and the visible. It does not depend on outer evidence, for it is the evidence of things not seen. One who lives by faith walks in certainty, while appearances scream otherwise. One who walks by faith speaks health in the face of symptoms, abundance in the face of debt, harmony in the face of conflict, and knows, without doubt, that the spoken word shall be fulfilled. Fear, on the other hand, is inverted faith. It is faith in the wrong direction. It is belief in evil, trust in misfortune, and conviction that something negative will come to pass. It too is creative, and it too has power, dark power, misdirected energy. Just as faith constructs, fear corrupts. Just as faith opens doors, fear slams them shut. Most people are ruled not by faith but by fear. They expect loss, anticipate betrayal, rehearse disaster, and then wonder why their lives follow the pattern of their imaginings. They carry mental pictures of ruin and defeat, and speak words of worry and dread, never realizing that these inner images and outer declarations are actually molding the conditions around them. The spiritual law is impersonal. It does not distinguish between faith or fear. It simply acts on the dominant vibration presented to it. If you hold fear with enough intensity and emotion, it will bring into your life that which you dread. If you hold faith with equal or greater strength, it will deliver your highest good. The law does not care if you are speaking in jest or in deep anguish. It only receives the word and responds. Therefore, it is not enough to hope things will work out. Hope is a thin thread. One must know. One must speak as one having authority. One must declare the good and refuse to see anything else. That is the spiritual warrior stance. To hold to the vision of divine truth, even while the winds of appearances howl around. Appearances are the great deceivers. They are but reflections of former thoughts and former beliefs. They have no substance in and of themselves. Yet most people are hypnotized by what they see. They say, "I'll believe it when I see it," not realizing that it is only seen because it was first believed. The outer world is the echo, never the cause. The cause lies within the mind, within the word, within the feeling. And fear thrives when we give power to appearances. Faith grows when we look beyond them. To walk by faith is to know that the outer world must bow to the inner decree. It is to trust the unseen more than the seen. It is to remember that God is the only power, and all else is illusion. There is no situation too great for faith to overcome. There is no condition so fixed that faith cannot dissolve it. It does not matter how long a difficulty has lingered or how firmly entrenched it appears. The moment a person turns from fear to faith, the tides begin to shift. The first step is always to turn the thought. Then the feeling follows. Then the word is spoken. Then the demonstration appears. Many try to reverse the order. They wait for a change in conditions before changing their beliefs. But that is not how the game is played. You must first change the inner pattern, and only then will the outer world rearrange itself accordingly. People often say, "But I can't help what I feel." That is not true. Feelings follow thoughts. If you discipline your thinking, your feelings will come into alignment. Begin to speak faith even when you do not feel it. Speak abundance when your pockets are empty. Speak health when your body is in pain. Speak peace when the world is in turmoil. As you do, the vibration begins to shift. The subconscious mind begins to accept the new pattern, and the outer world must respond. Fear is often the result of repeated failure, disappointment, or trauma. But these past experiences do not dictate the future unless you allow them to. Each day is a new game, a new chance to align with truth. When you recall past hurts, past lacks, past betrayals, you are feeding fear. When you forgive the past, when you release your grip on the old story, you make room for something new. Faith requires this. It requires letting go of the known and stepping into the unknown with spiritual confidence. It requires a firm stand, a declaration that says, I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know that the power within me is greater than any appearance before me. One of the most powerful tools in building faith is the spoken word. Your words build belief. Your words are the seeds of faith. Declare your good aloud with strength and clarity, and your mind will begin to believe it. Say it often enough, and the subconscious will accept it. Say it with feeling, and you begin to attract the very conditions that confirm it. Declare, I am divinely guided and protected, and your path will be cleared. Declare, I walk in divine abundance, and your supply will begin to appear. Declare, I am healed, whole, and radiant, and your body will begin to reflect it. Speak the word and do not take it back. Even when appearances remain unchanged, hold to your declaration. That is the test of faith. To know that it is done, even when you cannot yet see the result. Many make the mistake of speaking their fears instead of their faith. They rehearse the worst-case scenario. They tell others how bad things are. They describe their lack in vivid detail. All of this strengthens the very conditions they wish to dissolve. Every word spoken in fear builds a stronger wall around the demonstration. You must learn to become silent about the problem and vocal about the solution. If you must speak, speak only of the desired outcome. Speak as though it is already accomplished. Refuse to entertain or discuss anything less. Faith is not passive. It is not waiting quietly for something to happen. It is an active force. It is a conscious choice. It is a spiritual muscle that must be exercised daily. You build it by declaring the truth, by denying the power of appearances, by stepping forward when the path is not yet clear. You build it by trusting your inner guidance, even when others doubt. You build it by acting as though the demonstration has already arrived, by preparing for your good in expectation of its arrival. The person of faith sets the table before the meal is served. The person of faith lays out the welcome mat before the guest arrives. The person of faith gives thanks before the gift is seen. This is not foolishness. It is divine wisdom. It is how the game is played. The subconscious mind is the silent worker of your life, the hidden architect of your experience, and the faithful servant of your spoken word. It is impartial, obedient, tireless, and without a sense of humor. It does not judge, it does not reason, and it does not analyze. It simply receives what is consistently impressed upon it through thought, word, and feeling, and expresses those impressions as outward conditions. Whether you feed it fear or faith, truth or error, lack or abundance, it does not argue. It simply produces according to the blueprint it has been given. You are the master craftsman of your life, and the subconscious mind is the builder. What you impress, it expresses. What you command, it constructs. What you affirm, it accepts. The subconscious mind operates by law. It is governed by exact spiritual laws, just as the physical world is governed by natural laws. When you understand this, you no longer live as a victim of circumstance, but as a conscious creator. The law is simple: what you continually think and feel, and what you continually speak with belief, becomes your reality. It is not a question of whether the subconscious is working. It always is. The real question is, what are you impressing upon it? Most people allow the subconscious to be filled with negative thoughts by default. They absorb doubt, fear, resentment, and lack from the world around them. And these vibrations settle into the deeper layers of the mind, forming patterns that play out again and again in daily life. These patterns are not destiny, but habit, mental habits that have been allowed to grow unchecked. To change your world, you must change what you sow in the subconscious, and you cannot sow one thing and expect another. You cannot plant thoughts of disease and expect health to blossom. You cannot speak words of limitation and expect unlimited supply. You cannot harbor resentment and expect to live in harmony. The subconscious, like fertile soil, brings forth whatever is planted. It is not concerned with whether the seed is a weed or a rose. It will nourish either with equal force. That is why your thoughts must be chosen with care, and your words spoken with intention. Every mental image you dwell upon, every sentence you repeat to yourself or others, is a seed planted in this great invisible garden. And the harvest will come, whether you desire it or not. The subconscious mind is most receptive when emotion is involved. A thought that is lightly held will not take root, but a thought that is charged with strong feeling will sink deeply into the subconscious and begin to grow. This is why fear, when deeply felt, often brings about exactly what is feared. The emotion gives it power. And this is also why declarations of truth, when spoken with conviction, have miraculous power. The subconscious responds to belief, not to empty repetition. It responds to sincerity, not to formula. When you declare a truth with unwavering confidence, such as, "I am divinely guided," or "All that is mine by divine right now comes to me," you are giving the subconscious a command. If that command is sustained over time and not cancelled out by doubt or fear, the subconscious will carry it out to the letter. Most people feed the subconscious with contradiction. They affirm abundance in the morning and then complain of lack by afternoon. They declare health today and speak of symptoms tomorrow. They affirm confidence and then worry what others think. This mixed vibration confuses the subconscious and delays the demonstration. It is like planting a seed, digging it up the next day, planting a different one, and then wondering why nothing grows. The subconscious requires consistency. It must receive the same impression over and over again before it accepts it as true. That is why daily spiritual practice is essential, not to persuade God, but to train your own mind. You must learn to hold the image of truth longer than the illusion of appearances. One powerful way to impress the subconscious is through visualization. The imagination is the tool by which you sculpt the unseen. When you vividly imagine the life you desire, with detail, with emotion, with certainty, you are building a mold for the subconscious to fill. The more often you do this, the clearer the pattern becomes. And the subconscious will begin to move people, circumstances, and events to match the vision. But if your imagination is filled with worry, with worst-case scenarios, with pictures of loss and failure, the same law applies. The subconscious cannot distinguish between a true image and a false one. It only responds to repetition and feeling. This is why mastering your imagination is not mere fantasy, it is spiritual responsibility. Another key to mastering the subconscious is the spoken word. Words are containers of power. They are not idle sounds but spiritual instruments that carry vibration deep into the inner mind. When you speak, you are not merely communicating with others. You are instructing the subconscious. You are declaring to the universe what you believe, and the subconscious listens attentively. Every "I am" statement is especially powerful, for it aligns the self with identity. When you say, "I am tired," you reinforce fatigue. When you say, "I am strong," you call forth strength. When you say, "I am poor," you cement poverty. When you say, "I am wealthy," you draw in supply. This is not magic. It is spiritual law in action. The subconscious obeys the voice of the conscious mind, and it acts upon whatever it is told, day after day. Affirmations are a tool for consciously reprogramming the subconscious, but they must be used correctly. To be effective, affirmations must be stated in the present tense, with confidence and feeling. Saying, "I will be successful," places the good in the future, always out of reach. Saying, "I am successful," affirms it now, and the subconscious begins to organize reality around that truth. Doubt may arise, but if the affirmation is repeated with persistence and without resistance, the doubt begins to dissolve. In time, the subconscious accepts the new truth and begins to manifest evidence to support it. Every person you meet, every opportunity that arises, every event that unfolds is influenced by the instructions you have given to your subconscious. Some people attempt to change their lives by force of will, through outer effort alone. But the wise know that lasting change begins within. Outer effort without inner alignment is like rowing against the current. When the subconscious is aligned with the conscious intention, effort becomes ease. Doors open, delays vanish, right people appear at the right time. This is not chance, it is demonstration. It is the natural outworking of spiritual law, and all of it begins with what is impressed upon the subconscious. When working with the subconscious, silence is also a great teacher. In moments of stillness, you can sense what patterns have taken root. You can hear the old beliefs that may still be operating beneath the surface. Do not fight them, but replace them. You do not remove darkness by analyzing it. You remove it by turning on the light. Bring in new truth, speak it. Think it. Imagine it. Feel it. The old will wither away for lack of attention, and the new will rise to take its place. You are not the victim of your subconscious. You are its master. You must assume this authority and use it with love, with clarity, and with unwavering faith. Intuition is the voice of the soul, the quiet whisper of the divine within, guiding, directing, and revealing the perfect steps in the perfect sequence. It is not loud, nor does it argue. It does not insist, yet it is always right. When followed, intuition leads to peace, to prosperity, to perfect timing, and to harmonious outcomes. It does not reason according to appearances or facts, for it is not born of the intellect. Intuition bypasses logic and reaches directly into truth. It is the spiritual compass planted in every soul, ever ready to guide the individual along the path of their highest good. But to hear it, one must be still. One must step away from fear, from the chatter of the world, from the clamor of doubt, and listen with the ears of spirit. The world teaches people to rely on analysis, to compare, to calculate, to forecast. But the spirit speaks in sudden knowing, in flashes of direction, in inner nudges that make no sense to the intellect, but carry the unmistakable stamp of peace. There may be no proof, no evidence, no logical reason. But when intuition speaks, it carries with it a deep resonance that transcends reason. Those who learn to obey this voice are those who play the game of life at the highest level, for they no longer waste energy in trial and error, in hesitation, in the confusion of multiple options. They receive their instruction directly from the infinite and proceed with confidence, knowing that the next step will be revealed at the appointed time. The intuitive mind is always aligned with the divine plan. It sees the whole when the conscious mind sees only a part. What seems like a delay or detour to the intellect may be, from the higher view, a necessary preparation or protection. To follow intuition is to surrender the limited will and step into the guidance of the infinite will, which always leads to the fulfillment of one's divine pattern. The person who ignores intuition out of fear or pride, or the desire to conform to appearances, delays their good and steps off their path. But the voice will return again and again, offering a new chance, a new instruction, a new direction, for the spirit does not abandon, and the divine plan cannot be destroyed, only delayed. To cultivate intuition is to live in communion with the spirit. It requires the quieting of the mind, the cleansing of the emotions, and the purification of motives. One must be willing to set aside the personal will in favor of divine guidance. Often, the intuitive voice asks for action that seems foolish to the world. It may instruct one to give when it seems there is not enough, to speak when silence feels safer, to wait when haste is pressing, to walk away when staying appears easier. The intuition is not concerned with what is popular or expected. It is concerned only with what is right. When obeyed, it always reveals its wisdom in time. What seemed like a risk becomes a blessing. What felt like a sacrifice brings greater reward. What appeared as loss opens the door to a greater gain. Obedience to intuition must be swift and without question. The moment one begins to doubt, to overthink, to seek confirmation from the outside world, the voice grows faint. It does not compete for attention. It waits, and if ignored long enough, it becomes buried beneath the noise of external influences. Yet it is never lost. It can be recovered through prayer, through meditation, through solitude, and most of all, through trust. The more one acts on intuitive guidance, the stronger and clearer it becomes. It begins to direct not only major life decisions, but also the small movements of the day. One finds themselves turning left instead of right, calling someone at the exact moment they are needed, saying the one thing that opens a heart, avoiding a danger without even knowing it. Life becomes orchestrated from within, and one moves through it with grace and ease, not because there are no challenges, but because the path is divinely navigated. Intuition never leads to harm, confusion, or lack. It always leads to expansion, healing, and right action. Even when it leads through a period of transition or discomfort, the result is always higher ground. It is not based on emotion, though it may be accompanied by feeling. It is not a reaction to fear or desire, but a calm, clear knowing that does not shift or waver. When in doubt, one can test the voice by its fruit. Intuition brings peace even if the step it directs is bold. It brings clarity, even if the outer details are not fully known. It brings a sense of rightness that does not require validation. This inner knowing must be trusted more than the opinions of others, more than worldly knowledge, more than appearances. Many have silenced their intuition through years of ignoring its promptings, but it is never too late to listen again. One must simply begin to notice, to become aware of the subtle inner signals that often precede external events. A sudden thought, a persistent idea, a gentle urge to act. These are the ways in which the soul speaks. To dismiss them as coincidence is to miss the guidance of spirit. One must act, even if it is only a small step, and watch what follows. With every act of obedience, the channel clears. The connection strengthens. The game begins to unfold with new rhythm and flow. There is no chaos in the divine plan. Every step has been perfectly arranged. And intuition is the thread that leads the soul through the pattern. To follow it is to walk through the maze of life with a map others cannot see. To ignore it is to stumble in the dark, relying only on limited senses and reasoning. True wisdom is not found in accumulated knowledge, but in the quiet certainty that one is aligned with the highest guidance. And that guidance is available always, to all who seek it. Intuition also works through signs, symbols, and synchronicities. The universe is constantly communicating, not with thunder but with subtlety. A phrase repeated by different people, a line in a book that speaks directly to your heart, an unexpected delay that redirects your path. All of these are expressions of the same guiding force. To the untrained eye, they are random, but to the awakened soul, they are confirmation. The more one acknowledges these signs, the more they appear. The more one thanks the divine for its guidance, the more guidance is given. The path of intuition is not always comfortable, but it is always safe. It may lead away from what is familiar, but it never leads astray. It calls you to be brave, to trust what you cannot yet prove, to act before the outer evidence has appeared. But those who live by this guidance find that life begins to respond in remarkable ways. What others strive for begins to flow effortlessly. What seemed out of reach begins to approach. The right people come. The needed resources arrive. The timing aligns with precision that no amount of planning could achieve. And all of it unfolds through the quiet, sacred channel of inner knowing. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the soul's prison, the invisible act that releases both the giver and the receiver from the bondage of error. It is not merely an emotional gesture or a noble sentiment. It is a spiritual law, and its practice clears the pathway for all forms of good to enter. To forgive is to cleanse the subconscious of poison, to uproot the seeds of resentment before they grow into thorns of lack, illness, or unhappiness. Many who seek prosperity, healing, or peace find their demonstrations delayed, not because the good is withheld, but because the channel is blocked by unforgiveness. Divine supply flows where there is no obstruction, and resentment is one of the greatest obstructions to that flow. The world teaches retaliation, holding grievances, rehearsing old wounds in the mind. It sees forgiveness as weakness or surrender. But in spiritual truth, forgiveness is the strongest stance, for it aligns the individual with the law of harmony and justice. When you forgive, you are not condoning the error. You are refusing to allow it to live rent-free in your consciousness. You are declaring, "This has no power over me." You are no longer identifying with the wound, but with the healer. You are no longer tangled in the web of cause and effect, but standing in the light of divine freedom. The law of forgiveness is simple but profound. Whatever you release is released from you. Whatever you bless is free to bless you. Whatever you let go of, lets go of you. Many hold on to old injuries with clenched fists, unwilling to let go, believing they are guarding their dignity or protecting their truth. But in truth, they are binding themselves to the very thing they wish to escape. You cannot live in the fullness of your divine inheritance while carrying the burden of resentment. It weighs down the heart, clouds the vision, and invites more of the same into your experience. Forgiveness is not always instant, nor does it always begin with a feeling of peace. Often, the decision must be made first, even while the heart still aches or the mind still protests. The spiritual act must precede the emotional release. You may begin by saying, "I forgive him. I forgive her. I forgive myself." Even if the words feel hollow at first, speak them anyway. The subconscious will hear. The spirit will move. The feeling will follow. Speak it daily, speak it often, until the words begin to feel like truth. For they are truth. The moment you declare forgiveness, the soul begins to lighten. Energy begins to shift. The cords of pain begin to dissolve. Many are quick to forgive others but slow to forgive themselves. They carry guilt, shame, regret, ghosts from the past that haunt their present and dim their future. But just as you must release others, you must also release yourself. You did what you knew to do at the time. You acted from the consciousness you had. Now you know more. Now you are wiser. Punishing yourself does not bring healing. It only delays the good that is seeking to reach you. Say, "I forgive myself. I bless myself. I release myself from all judgments, known and unknown." The divine does not judge you. It has already forgiven you. It only waits for you to accept that forgiveness and walk free. The spoken word is a mighty tool in the practice of forgiveness. Declare, "There is no condemnation in divine mind. I am washed clean by the law of love. I let go and am lifted." Speak these words with feeling and repetition, and they will begin to reprogram the subconscious. You will begin to feel a sense of relief, as though a weight has lifted, though nothing may yet have changed on the outer. And soon, changes will begin to appear. Things that were stuck will start to move. Delayed good will begin to flow. Health will improve. Finances will shift. Relationships will mend. This is not imagination. It is spiritual law responding to a cleansed and open heart. Sometimes the hardest people to forgive are those who never acknowledged the harm they caused. The ego wants apology, recognition, or justice before releasing the pain. But the soul does not need any of these. Forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. The moment you release the need for acknowledgement, you stop giving power to the one who hurt you. You no longer live as a victim, but as a victor. You walk free, regardless of whether they ever change or even remember. You choose not to let their error become your burden. You place them in the hands of divine law and go forward unchained. There are times when forgiveness must be repeated. A memory arises, a sting returns, and you feel as though the work has been undone. But this is not failure. It is deeper cleansing. You are not back at the beginning. You are moving through layers. Speak the word again. Forgive again. Release again. Each time, the grip becomes looser, and the heart becomes lighter. You are dissolving the pattern at the root, and when the root is gone, it can no longer grow. The same applies to collective wounds, those carried not just by individuals, but by families, communities, or entire societies. Even these can be healed through the spiritual power of forgiveness. Some imagine that if they forgive, they must allow the offender back into their lives. But forgiveness does not mean inviting harm or continuing in unhealthy patterns. It means releasing resentment, not releasing discernment. You may forgive someone and still choose distance. You may love from afar. Forgiveness is an inner act, not an outer obligation. It is the refusal to carry bitterness, not the requirement to resume relationship. Only your soul can guide you in what boundaries to set, but the act of forgiveness must not be delayed. There is a deep spiritual power in blessing those who have hurt you. It may seem impossible at first, but it is the final act of liberation. Say, I bless them with peace. I bless them with light. I release them into their highest good. These words are not weakness, they are strength. They are your way of taking back your power and refusing to stay tied to the vibration of pain. As you bless them, you bless yourself. As you release them, you rise. Forgiveness also heals the body. Many illnesses are the result of unexpressed grief, chronic resentment, or buried guilt. The body carries the burden of the mind, and when the mind is freed, the body responds. A chronic ache may vanish. Fatigue may lift. The eyes may brighten. The face may soften. The breath may deepen. This is the body rejoicing in the release of a heavy load. Forgiveness is not just spiritual. It is physical, emotional, mental, and energetic. It touches every part of life. To live in a state of continual forgiveness is to walk in grace. It is to keep the inner channel clear so that love, wisdom, supply, and guidance may flow without interruption. It is to understand that all are doing their best from their level of awareness, and that error is simply ignorance, not evil, not malice, but unconsciousness. When you see this, you stop taking things so personally. You begin to see others as souls in process, learning their own lessons, walking their own path. You let them go, and in doing so, you set yourself free.
The most powerful manifestors don't talk about what they're creating. They don't announce their miracles before they arrive. They move in silence, and money, love, and opportunities follow them effortlessly. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The invisible forces are working for you when you hold your peace. And that is why the spiritually wealthy keep certain things hidden. Not from fear, but from power." Today, I will reveal the 7 things the spiritually wealthy never share while manifesting. Because they know the moment they speak too soon, the energy begins to leak. Beloved, there is a reason why the spiritually wealthy do not announce what they are manifesting. It is not fear, it is wisdom. They understand a sacred truth, that every dream, before it blooms, must grow unseen. It must be nourished in silence, guarded by faith, and protected from the noise of the world. You see, every desire is a seed. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up each day to show it to others. You do not rush the soil or expose it to the wind. You trust the process of darkness, of quiet, of unseen growth. And manifestation works the same way. When you speak of your dreams too soon, you invite the world's opinions into your soil. Every, "Are you sure?" Every, "That's impossible." Every silent doubt from another heart becomes a shadow over your field. And a shadow can block your light if you let it. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "The invisible forces are working for you when you hold your peace." That means silence is not weakness. It is spiritual strategy. Because the moment you speak of your desire prematurely, you begin to hand it over to the collective vibration of others. And not everyone will protect what you are planting. The spiritually wealthy know this. That is why they don't announce. They don't explain. They don't prove. They simply become. They water their dreams with prayer, not conversation. They nurture their goals with gratitude, not gossip. They keep their manifestations sealed in faith until heaven makes them visible. Beloved, I want you to hear this truth. Deeply, your desire is not a wish. It is a prophecy. When you receive an idea, a vision, an urge, a dream, it is not fantasy. It is divine communication. The idea is heaven's way of saying, "This already exists in the spiritual realm. Now prepare for it." And your preparation is silence. Because silence says, "I trust the unseen." You do not tell the world what God whispered to you in secret. You do not expose what the divine asked you to carry in faith. Because the moment you speak it to those who do not understand the law, you invite confusion to interpret your miracle. And confusion delays creation. The spiritually wealthy are not secretive out of pride. They are secretive out of alignment. They know that manifestation is not about impressing people. It is about obeying principles. They know that energy leaks through explanation. That faith shrinks under scrutiny. That power fades when handled by too many hands. So they guard their dreams as holy treasures. They keep their intentions between themselves and divine mind. They walk quietly with purpose. And the world, one day, sees the result and calls it steady success. But heaven calls it steady faith. Say softly now, my dreams are safe in silence. Again. My dreams are safe in silence. Every time you speak those words, you seal your energy. You become the guardian of your own prophecy. You stop needing approval and start radiating assurance. Because you no longer need the world to believe in what heaven already approved. Florence said, faith never argues or fights, it simply knows. So the next time you feel tempted to explain your plans, pause. Feel the strength in stillness. Remember that peace is proof of trust. And that your silence is a sanctuary where your miracles take shape. Beloved, every great creation in history began in silence. The artist paints before the world sees. The builder designs before the city rises. The universe itself was formed out of quiet intention before the first word. Let there be light. Creation begins in the unseen. It is born in the void, and the void is sacred. When you protect your desires, you protect your vibration. And when your vibration remains pure, manifestation happens effortlessly. You will not need to chase. You will not need to convince. Because your silence becomes magnetic. It says to the universe, I am ready, I am steady, I am sure, and heaven loves certainty. You see, the poor in spirit rush to share, because they crave validation. But the wealthy in spirit stay silent, because they crave manifestation. They understand that validation is temporary, but vibration is eternal. And when you choose vibration over validation, miracles become your normal. Say softly now, I am becoming quietly wealthy. Again, becoming quietly wealthy. Let those words echo within you. Because every moment you keep your desire sacred, its energy expands. Every time you choose silence over fear, your frequency rises. And soon, without announcement or noise, what you prayed for will appear. Naturally, gracefully, beautifully. The world will call it sudden. You will know it was silent. Florence would remind you, never violate the law of secrecy when creating in the invisible. So honor the silence. Protect the seed. Let your roots grow deep before showing your flower. For the spiritually wealthy know, what you protect multiplies, and what you expose too soon dissolves. So today, beloved, walk with calm certainty. Do not rush. Do not prove. Hold your desires close like sacred gems. Smile when people ask what you're working on and whisper inside, something heaven and I are creating together. Because it is not their understanding that grows your dream. It is your faith, your peace, your silence. Say softly now, as your decree, I trust the unseen. My dreams grow in silence. The universe remembers my intention, and it will bloom in perfect timing, under grace and in divine order. And so it is. Beloved, every truly wealthy soul understands this sacred truth. What you picture in your mind is a divine instruction to the universe. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is prophecy. And this is why the spiritually wealthy guard the details of their vision with reverence and silence. Florence Scovel Shinn said, man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. But she also warned, do not discuss your affairs with anyone. Because the moment you expose your inner image to minds that do not understand faith, you dilute its purity. The spiritually wealthy know that every mental picture is a seed of reality. And not all soil is fertile enough to protect it. Your vision is your spiritual architecture. Every image you hold is a design drafted in the invisible world. The walls, the windows, the foundation, they are built through your focus, through your emotion, through your belief. And until that house of creation is ready to appear in the physical, you must keep its blueprint safe from the winds of doubt. Beloved, when you tell someone your vision too soon, they might smile. But silently, they might question. They might not mean harm, but their vibration of disbelief touches your energy field. And because thought is magnetic, even the smallest doubt can tangle your signal. So the spiritually wealthy say little and imagine much. They speak less and create more. They know that manifestation is not a public event. It is a private ceremony. Their vision boards are not for display. They are for devotion. Their visualization time is not performance. It is partnership with infinite mind. When they close their eyes, they are entering heaven's design studio, crafting miracles line by line with emotion as ink and belief as blueprint. Florence said, "Impress the subconscious with perfect pictures of success." That word, impress, is sacred. It means to press upon, to mark deeply. So every image you hold impresses your subconscious mind. And your subconscious, being obedient to spiritual law, goes to work manifesting what it was shown. But if you allow conflicting opinions, fears, or comparisons to enter, the picture blurs. And a blurred image creates a delayed manifestation. Beloved, the rich in spirit understand clarity is wealth. They don't waste their mental cinema on fear. They don't replay scenes of loss or failure. They hold one image. Peaceful, prosperous, perfect. And they live inside it. They walk as though that image were already true. Because in divine mind, it is. Say softly now, I live inside the picture of my prosperity. Again, I live inside the picture of my prosperity. Every time you speak those words, your mind begins to merge with your vision. Your nervous system accepts abundance as familiar. Your heart relaxes into expectancy. And the universe, like a faithful servant, begins to arrange itself around your picture. You see, beloved, spiritually wealthy people do not share the details of their vision because they know energy must concentrate before it expands. If you keep adjusting or explaining, you scatter your focus. If you protect and trust, you intensify it. Creation happens through intensity of belief, not volume of words. Your picture does not need permission, it needs power. And power grows in privacy. So when you visualize, do it quietly. Feel it deeply. Picture yourself already there, not wishing but living. Smell the air of that new reality. Hear the sounds of peace. Feel the warmth of security. Let your senses participate in your miracle. That is how the spiritually wealthy pray. They don't beg. They broadcast. They don't ask. They align. They know that the mind that imagines wealth is already one with the wealth imagined. Florence said, man's word is his wand, filled with magic and power. But I tell you, beloved, his picture is his prophecy. When you hold an image long enough, it begins to breathe. It gains magnetism. It gathers substance. It becomes a living reality waiting for permission to appear. So don't expose it to noise. Protect your mental movie until it's ready for premiere. When people ask what you're manifesting, smile gently and say, something wonderful is unfolding. That answer protects your energy. It satisfies curiosity without surrendering your power. Say softly now, my vision is sacred. My focus is wealth. Again, my vision is sacred. My focus is wealth. You are now behaving like the spiritually rich, the ones who build realities through inner sight, not outer chatter. They are not louder than others. They are lighter. They live in quiet certainty, while the world shouts confusion. And that certainty is what makes them magnetic. Remember, beloved, your subconscious is like fertile ground. Whatever image you plant in it grows. Plant peace, and you harvest stability. Plant prosperity, and you harvest opportunity. Plant doubt, and weeds will rise. So keep your field clean. Keep your focus pure. Keep your faith private until the fruit appears. Because when you protect your picture, heaven paints the rest. The color, the timing, the form. All handled by divine design. Your only work is to see clearly and believe completely. Florence said, the game of life is a game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him with astonishing accuracy. And your images, beloved, are those boomerangs. Send out only the ones you wish to receive. So close your eyes and whisper softly, I hold my vision in divine secrecy. My images are blessed. My pictures are pure. And what I see within, heaven reveals without, under grace, in perfect ways. Then release the picture to infinite mind. No worry, no doubt, no need to tell anyone. Just peace. Because the spiritually wealthy know, what you see in silence today becomes what the world sees tomorrow. And so it is. Beloved, The spiritually wealthy understand that manifestation is not an event. It is a rhythm. It is not something they do once and forget. It is a way of living, breathing, and thinking. Their wealth, but not just on ideas, but on spiritual practices that keep their vibration clear, their faith steady, and their connection with divine mind open. But here's their secret: they do these things quietly. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Prayer is telephoning to God, and intuition is God telephoning to you." The spiritually wealthy live by that law every single day. They make time to call the divine, not through loud rituals or public performance, but through silent alignment. Their daily practices are private conversations between their soul and infinite mind. They do not post their prayers. They do not boast about their discipline. Because they know that the moment the sacred becomes a show, the power begins to fade. Their morning begins not with noise, but with knowing. Before the world wakes up, they are already aligned. They rise in quiet gratitude. They whisper, "Thank you for this day. Thank you that supply flows freely. Thank you that I am guided, guarded, and grounded." And because gratitude is their first language, abundance becomes their natural response. Beloved, you will not find them scrolling through fear. The moment they open their eyes, you will find them listening to peace. Because they know the first few moments of the morning are the most magnetic. The subconscious is open. The veil between thought and creation is thin. And what they impress in that silence shapes the entire day. Florence said, "Man's word is his wand." So the spiritually wealthy begin their morning speaking life. They declare, "Everything I need comes to me easily and freely. I live under grace, and all that belongs to me by divine right appears now." They repeat until their heart believes it, because they know repetition is not begging, it is programming. Every word is a new command to the subconscious, and the subconscious never argues. It only obeys. Their prayer time is not about asking. It is about aligning. They don't say, "Please make it happen." They say, "Thank you that it already has." They live by faith that what exists in the invisible will soon appear in the visible, under grace, in perfect ways. They might meditate quietly, not as escape but as access. For meditation to them is not emptiness. It is conversation. It is the moment where divine instruction enters their awareness. Sometimes, they receive a nudge, an idea, a feeling, and they act on it without hesitation. They don't explain it. They don't debate it. They trust it. Because they know intuition is the divine's reply to their prayer. Beloved, their spiritual practice may look simple from the outside, but inwardly, it moves heaven. Because consistency builds vibration, and vibration builds reality. They don't wait for a crisis to pray. They pray daily, so when challenge arises, they are already strong. Their peace is their preparation. Say softly now, "My peace prepares my prosperity." Again, "My peace prepares my prosperity." Every day. The spiritually wealthy do something else the world often forgets. They protect their energy after their rituals. They don't step out of meditation and into chaos. They stay in a bubble of stillness, letting the vibration of prayer settle into the aura. Because right after spiritual practice, the aura is wide open, luminous, sensitive. It is like wet paint. It must not be touched by negativity. They guard that silence as sacred ground. They don't gossip, complain, or compare. They simply remain grateful. Florence said, "You must be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is always someone trying to enter your garden. That garden is your consciousness." And the spiritually wealthy do not let uninvited thoughts trample their flowers. They treat their inner state like holy soil. They keep it nourished, pure, and protected. Beloved, when they move for the day, they stay tuned. They walk like prayer in motion, calm, deliberate, graceful. Their peace itself becomes their practice. They give not out of pressure, but out of flow. They work not out of fear, but out of purpose. They rest not from exhaustion, but from completion. Their entire life becomes worship without words. And at night, before they sleep, they seal the day in gratitude. They review the good, not the worry. They bless the lessons, not the losses. They say softly, "Thank you, Spirit, for everything I received and everything I released." And then, as they drift into rest, they hand their consciousness back to Divine Mind, trusting it to organize tomorrow. Say softly now, "My days begin with peace and end with praise." Again, "My days begin with peace and end with praise." That rhythm, gratitude, alignment, protection, becomes their secret wealth frequency. They do not have to announce it, because their results announce themselves. You can feel their energy when they enter a room. Calm, confident, magnetic. They glow without showing. They prosper without performing, because they have turned their daily spiritual practice into daily wealth practice. Florence said, "Prayer is the key to heaven, but faith unlocks the door. And I tell you, beloved, consistency keeps it open." That is why the spiritually wealthy practice daily, silently, faithfully, not for ritual's sake, but for relationship's sake. They are in constant communication with Divine Mind, and that communication becomes their protection, their provision, their peace. So keep your daily practice sacred. Make it your secret temple, your private meeting place with infinite mind, because in that stillness, heaven rearranges your world. Say softly now, "I meet the divine in silence. I am recharged in stillness. My daily peace produces my daily prosperity." And as you speak these words, feel your heart relax, your breath deepen, and your energy stabilize. For you are learning what the spiritually wealthy already know, that the richest moments happen in quiet conversation with the divine. And that silence is your strongest prayer. Beautiful. Here is Keynote 40. Their inner doubts and battles, expanded into about 800 words in Florence Scovel Shinn's sacred, reassuring, and deeply introspective voice. Written in the perfect rhythm for emotional voiceover, blending spiritual truth with gentle authority. Beloved, even the most spiritually wealthy souls, the calm ones, the confident ones, the magnetic ones, have their moments of doubt. They too wake some mornings with a trembling thought that whispers, "What if it doesn't work this time?" But here lies their difference. They never invite doubt, it, bless it, and transform it into power. Privately, quietly, faithfully. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Every man is a golden link in the chain of my good." That includes the moments that challenge you, the thoughts that test you, and the doubts that try to shadow your faith. For the spiritually wealthy understand, doubt is not an enemy, it is a messenger. It appears only to reveal where faith must grow stronger. When fear enters their mind, they do not panic. They pause. They do not confess it to everyone, nor seek sympathy from those who would feed it. They bring it straight to the divine. They say, "Spirit, this fear is not mine. I return it to the light." And in that moment, they transmute what could have become poison into prayer. Beloved, they have learned that when you speak your fears to the wrong people, those fears multiply. But when you speak them only to God, they dissolve. Because human sympathy may comfort you, but divine truth transforms you. And transformation is the goal. You see, the spiritually wealthy guard their inner world like holy ground. They know every thought is a seed, and they will not allow weeds of fear to grow unchecked. When doubt rises, they do not feed it with more words. They starve it with silence. They replace it with declaration. They speak softly but firmly. "I walk by faith, not by sight." And even if their voice shakes, their decision does not. They may feel uncertainty, but they choose belief. Because faith is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. Florence said, "Fear must be erased from the consciousness before the divine order can come." So they work within. They do not fight doubt. They erase it through remembrance. They remind themselves of every miracle that has already come through faith. They recount each answered prayer, each divine provision, each moment grace showed up uninvited but right on time. They let memory build momentum, and that remembrance becomes the cure for anxiety. Say softly now, "I remember every miracle, and I trust the next one." Again, "I remember every miracle, and I trust the next one." This is how the spiritually wealthy win battles no one sees. They do not post their pain. They process it through presence. They do not announce their struggles. They surrender them in silence. Because they know that when you bring your weakness to the divine, heaven strengthens it. Their private moments of doubt become classrooms for deeper wisdom. They learn that fear is simply faith pointed in the wrong direction. So they turn it around. When fear says, "What if it goes wrong?" Faith says, "What if it goes perfectly right?" When fear says, "You can't," faith says, "God already did." And that reversal becomes their ritual. Beloved, you must understand. The world trains you to fear delay. But the spiritually wealthy have learned to trust divine timing. When manifestation seems slow, they do not curse the process. They bless the waiting. Because they know that delay is not denial. It is divine preparation. The universe is arranging the pieces they cannot yet see. And their only job is to stay in alignment, not agitation. Say softly now, every delay is divine preparation again. Every delay is divine preparation. Every time you repeat that, your spirit calms and your vibration steadies. And once you are calm, your miracle can find you. Florence said, faith never argues or fights. It simply knows. So when the spiritually wealthy feel fear creeping in, they stop arguing with it. They breathe. They affirm. They choose peace again. They might walk, pray, journal, or sit in silence until peace returns. Because they know, peace is not the reward. Peace is the path. And here lies their power. They never let temporary emotions dictate eternal truth. They may cry for a moment, but they don't camp in sorrow. They may question for an hour, but they end the day in gratitude. They may tremble in the dark, but they still whisper, "Let there be light." Beloved, this is how you win the inner battle. You do not need to be fearless, you need to be faithful. Because faith, even as small as a mustard seed, moves mountains when it's consistent. So the next time you feel worry stirring, don't broadcast it to the world. Close your eyes, go within, and declare softly, "This thought is not mine, this fear is not truth. I am one with divine supply, and I am safe in divine order." The moment you say it, heaven takes over the situation. Fear fades, clarity returns, and your vibration resets to power. Because the spiritually wealthy know, inner victory always precedes outer success. They handle doubt in silence, so that faith can speak louder than ever. They walk through storms with calm faces, because their hearts are anchored in divine knowing. And though the world may never see their battles, it will surely witness their blessings. Florence said, every test is but a chance to prove the power of God. So they do not fear the test, they welcome it. They know that when they stay centered, miracles are born out of pressure. And what once felt like battle soon becomes breakthrough. Say softly now, every test strengthens my faith. Every fear reminds me of my power. Every doubt turns into divine direction. Again, slower with certainty, I am calm. I am centered. I am covered by grace. Beloved, from this day on, treat every doubt as a signal, not a setback. Let it point you back to peace. And remember, you never fight alone. For when you face fear with faith, heaven fights with you. That is how the spiritually wealthy conquer their inner battles. Not loudly, but faithfully. Not through resistance, but through remembrance. Not by proving, but by trusting. And when the battle is over, their peace shines brighter than before. That peace becomes their wealth. That calm becomes their crown. And so it is. Beloved, every truly wealthy soul, in spirit and in life, lives by divine instruction. They do not move because of pressure. They move because of prompting. They do not act because the world demands it. They act because spirit whispers it. And when that whisper comes, they obey in silence. Florence Scovel Shinn said, intuition is God's way of speaking to a human mind. The spiritually wealthy have learned to recognize that voice. The still, small voice that comes in peace, not panic. It does not shout. It does not argue. It does not confuse. It simply knows. Beloved, this voice does not come to the busy mind. It visits the quiet one. That is why those who live by divine law make silence their daily sanctuary. For in the noise of the world, fear speaks loudly. But in the stillness of faith, Divine mind gives instruction. The spiritually wealthy know that when the inner voice speaks, they must not rush to tell anyone. They do not need agreement from man when heaven has already confirmed the plan. They act quietly, knowing that spiritual instruction is personal, not public. They understand that the more you talk about divine direction, the less you hear it. Because talking disperses energy, while silence concentrates it. Florence said, "Faith acts without asking why, and that is the rule they live by. When spirit nudges them, call this person, apply there, forgive that debt. They do not overthink, they do not delay. They obey, because they know that divine timing requires divine response. Heaven's instruction always carries a window of grace, and those who act within that window are met with miracles. Beloved, when you receive divine instruction, it may not make sense to logic. It rarely does. The mind measures, the spirit moves. Logic sees risk, faith sees revelation, and those who walk by faith see what logic never could. The spiritually wealthy do not ask, "How will this work?" They say, "I trust it already has." When you learn to follow that inner leading, doors open without effort. Opportunities appear that no human could have arranged. You find yourself at the right place, with the right people. In the right moment, not because you forced it, but because you flowed with it. That is the way of divine order. Say softly now, "I am guided. I am guarded. I am grounded in grace." Again, I am guided. I am guarded. I am grounded in grace. Every time you speak those words, your energy field stabilizes. You begin to feel that calm, quiet confidence that only faith brings. You no longer rush to make things happen. You allow them to unfold through obedience. Beloved, divine instruction often arrives as a feeling, not a sentence. It may come as peace about one choice and unease about another. The spiritually wealthy trust that signal. They understand that peace is direction. When something is meant for them, it carries no strain. When it is not, even opportunity feels heavy, and so they follow the lightness. Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear." So when divine instruction feels strange, they do not resist it with fear. They remember that spirit sees what they cannot. That the steps may look uncertain, but the destination is already safe. They obey, not because they understand, but because they trust. The spiritually wealthy move differently. They don't chase. They're called. They don't guess. They're guided. They don't rush. They're ready. And the world often calls them lucky. But heaven calls them aligned. Beloved, you must learn this same rhythm. When the whisper comes, honor it. When the nudge repeats, follow it. You don't have to explain it to anyone. Divine instruction is not a group project. It is a covenant between you and infinite mind. Say softly now, "When spirits, I move in silence." Again, and when spirit speaks, I move in silence. Because silence protects direction. The spiritually wealthy never expose their divine orders to those who have not heard them. They know that when others cannot hear what you hear, they will try to correct it. Not out of malice, but misunderstanding. And misunderstanding can muffle miracles. So they protect their hearing by protecting their words. Florence said, "Obedience to intuition is the key to success." And indeed, that is the foundation of spiritual wealth. Not hard work alone, but aligned work. Not effort alone, but instruction followed in faith. Beloved, there are times when the divine will ask you to release something before the new comes. To give before you receive. To walk before you see. In those moments, trust the invisible map. Because every divine instruction carries divine provision with it. Heaven will never send you on a journey without already preparing the road. The spiritually wealthy don't need the full plan. They move one faithful step at a time. And somehow every step reveals the next. It is like walking through that clears as you go. You don't see the destination, but you know you're not lost. That is the peace of obedience. Say softly, "Each step I take is divinely guided. Each choice I make is divinely ordered." Again slower, "Each step I take is divinely guided. Each choice I make is divinely ordered." When you live this way, beloved, you no longer fear mistakes. Because even your detours are divine design. Even your pauses are protection. Even your no's are preparation for a greater yes. So do not question the whisper. Do not rush to tell the world what heaven told you in private. Let your actions speak your obedience. And let the results reveal your relationship with divine mind. For that is what the spiritually wealthy do. They receive quietly, they act faithfully, and they prosper peacefully. Because obedience, beloved, is the highest form of trust. And those who trust the divine completely never lack anything. Say softly now as your decree. I follow divine instruction in peace. I walk in perfect order, I move under grace. And what I am called to do, I am fully supplied to do. Again, with conviction. I am led by spirit. And my obedience creates my abundance. And as you breathe those words, feel the stillness wrap around you like light. For you are now walking the way of the spiritually wealthy. The quiet ones who move when spirit moves, and manifest miracles without announcing them. And so it is. Beloved, when the spiritually wealthy finish their prayer, their decree, their affirmation, or their manifestation work, they do not rush back into noise. They do not step from heaven straight into chaos. They stay still. They remain quiet. They understand that what has just been spoken into the invisible must be sealed in peace, not scattered by hurry. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Every time you make a statement of truth, you plant a seed in the invisible. And the spiritually wealthy know that once a seed is planted, the soil must not be disturbed. The moment after you pray is the most sacred moment of all. It is when the energy field opens. It is when heaven begins to move unseen. And if you guard that vibration, your miracle grows in silence. Beloved, this is why the rich in spirit treat their energy after prayer like holy ground. They do not complain after affirming. They do not worry after decreeing. They do not undo their manifestation by contradiction. They seal their vibration in faith and walk forward, as though the work is already done. When they finish their morning decrees, they do not scroll through fear. They sit in quiet confidence. They hold their peace like a crown, because they know the law. The spoken word returns multiplied. If you speak truth and follow it with doubt, you create confusion. But if you speak truth and follow it with silence, you create power." Florence said, "Faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly." So after the spiritually wealthy speak their word, they act as though it is already theirs. They carry themselves like receivers, not beggars. They dress with confidence, they walk with ease, they speak gently. Because their outer life mirrors their inner belief. They know that the prayer is not over until the energy matches the declaration. Beloved, many people pray and then rush to worry. They affirm and then argue with the world. They decree abundance and then scroll through comparison. But that breaks the energy. The spiritually wealthy have learned a higher way. When they finish speaking, they release it to divine mind and remain in harmony. They trust that the law is already working, even if nothing appears to be changing. They know manifestation is like baking bread. Once it's in the oven, you don't keep opening the door to check. You trust the process. Because if you open the door too soon, you let the heat escape. So they protect their prayer heat, their spiritual fire, through calm detachment. Say softly now, I release and rest. Again, I release and rest. Every time you say those words, your spirit aligns with divine order. You let go of control, and you let God handle completion. Beloved, when you finish your spiritual work, whether it's a decree, a visualization, or an affirmation, imagine your aura as light, soft and golden, glowing around you. That light is sensitive. It carries the energy of your intention. It must be shielded from negativity, criticism, gossip, or fear. Because every thought you entertain immediately after prayer either strengthens your vibration or weakens it. That is why the spiritually wealthy do not engage with drama after divine work. They don't rush into phone calls, arguments, or distractions. They stay sacredly silent for a while, walking slowly, breathing deeply, smiling softly. They know that silence is the cement that seals their decree. Florence said, after man knows the truth, he cannot afford to be negative. Because negativity reopens what faith had already closed. So they protect their vibration like a newborn dream. They stay gentle with themselves and with others. They avoid explaining what they just prayed for, because divine energy is still organizing the details. Beloved, I tell you, right after prayer, the universe is listening most closely. It listens to see if you will contradict what you have just commanded. If you say, I am rich in divine supply, and then sigh, but it never happens for me. The universe takes the sigh, not the statement. But if you say, I am rich in divine supply, and then stay peaceful, heaven says, she knows. Bring it to her now. This is why the spiritually wealthy practice emotional discipline. Their peace after prayer is their proof of faith. They measure their belief not by words but by calm. Because peace means it's done. Say softly now, my peace is my proof. Again, my peace is my proof. After they pray, they may take a walk, drink water slowly, or listen to stillness. They may write gratitude for what has not yet appeared. They may simply whisper, thank you, thank you, thank you, until joy fills the room. Because that joy is the vibration of completion. Beloved, the aura after prayer is magnetic. It sends out waves of light that draw matching experiences back to you. But if you rush into fear, those waves become scattered. So remain soft, remain sure, remain silent for a while. Let the divine do its work. Florence said, all that belongs to you, by divine quiet should come to you under grace, in perfect ways. So trust that once you have spoken your word, heaven has heard you. You do not need to repeat the prayer in panic. You need only live in gratitude. Say softly now, I have spoken my word, and heaven has heard me. I rest in the knowing that it is done. Again, sower and deeper. I rest in the knowing that it is done. And as you breathe, imagine your aura shining brighter, a field of faith, glowing gold around you, protecting your peace, magnetizing your good. This is the posture of spiritual wealth. The quiet after prayer is not empty. It is electric. It hums with divine creation. Beloved, when you finish your manifestation work, say, feel more. Do less, believe more. Because what you believe in silence will soon become what you hold in your hands. The spiritually wealthy live by this rhythm. They speak, they seal, they stay still. And that stillness becomes their secret strength. Because the universe responds to consistency, not noise. So from this moment on, protect your energy after prayer like gold. Bless your stillness. Trust your word. And remember, what you release in peace always returns in power. And so it is. Beloved, the spiritually wealthy never boast about their blessings before they bloom. And even when the miracle arrives, they do not shout, look what I did. They whisper, look what God has done through me. Because they know, true wealth speaks in silence. And miracles do not need marketing. Florence Scovel Shinn said, faith never boasts. It simply knows. The spiritually wealthy live by that law. They are not in competition with others. They are in communion with the divine. Their results are not announcements. They are confirmations that the law works. They do not flaunt manifestation. They demonstrate it. Their peace is proof. Their calm is evidence. Their abundance becomes the quiet testimony of divine order in motion. Beloved, the ones who truly walk with spirit never need to convince anyone that the law of attraction is real. Their life becomes the sermon. Their aura becomes the advertisement. Their consistency becomes the teaching. You see, when you are genuinely aligned, your results do not make you loud. They make you luminous. Because every miracle that appears in your life is not to prove power, but to express love. It is the universe saying, I keep my promises. Florence said, there is no such thing as coincidence. Every blessing comes by law. So the spiritually wealthy don't call their success luck. They call it law fulfilled. They don't feel surprised when good arrives. They feel grateful. Because they knew it was already theirs in the invisible long before it appeared in the visible. When the world says, you're so lucky, they smile and say quietly, No, I'm so aligned. Beloved, when your manifestation appears, whether it's money, opportunity, or healing, you must learn to receive it with reverence. Not to show the world what you've gained, but to thank the divine for what has been completed. For every miracle you receive has a purpose beyond yourself. It's a reminder to others that faith works, that love provides, that obedience opens doors no man can shut. The spiritually wealthy share their stories not for attention, but for activation. When they speak of what has manifested, they do so with humility and grace. They say, "This happened through divine timing. This came because I trusted the law." Their voice carries calm gratitude, not pride, because pride says, "I made this happen," but gratitude says, "God flowed through me." Florence said, "There is a supply for every demand." So when their supply comes, the spiritually wealthy give thanks before they spend it. They bless every dollar, every client, every gift. They hold it in their hands and whisper, "Thank you for flowing through me. I bless you, and I release you to multiply under grace." And that gratitude multiplies what they have, because the law is simple. What you bless, blesses you back. Beloved, when your miracle arrives, guard it with the same grace you used to birth it. You don't need to explain how it came. You don't need to prove that you manifested it. You simply continue walking in gratitude, letting the vibration of peace grow stronger. Because miracles attract more miracles when the receiver stays humble. The spiritually wealthy understand something profound. What you celebrate in private continues to expand in public. When they receive abundance, they share silently with others in need. When they experience promotion, they remain generous, not grand. When their manifestations appear, they return to prayer, not to ask for more, but to say thank you for what already is. Say softly now, "I am grateful before, during, and after my miracle." Again, "I am grateful before, during, and after my miracle." Every time you speak that, you align your spirit with divine flow. You remove the ego from creation, leaving only grace, and grace, beloved, never runs out. Florence said, "Man can only lose what he no longer appreciates." That means the moment gratitude fades, supply weakens. But the moment gratitude returns, abundance renews. That is why the spiritually wealthy make thankfulness their daily habit. Not when they get something, but even when they give something away. They bless the outgoing and the incoming equally. They know that both are proof of circulation, and circulation is life. When you start receiving miracles, beloved, stay anchored. Don't let people's curiosity pull you off your spiritual path. Many will ask, "How did you do it?" And you may feel tempted to explain every method. But the spiritually wealthy smile gently and say, "Through divine order." That answer says everything and nothing at once, protecting the sacred while inspiring faith. Beloved, remember this. When your miracle arrives, that is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your next evolution. Every answered prayer carries a responsibility to live as a vessel of the divine, to use your blessing to bless others, to let your abundance heal, not boast, to let your peace teach, not preach. Say softly now, "My miracle is my ministry." Again, my miracle is my ministry. Because every manifestation you receive becomes proof that spirit is real and faith works. You become a living scripture of grace, your life preaching without a word. Florence said, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but fear." So when your miracle comes, don't fear losing it. Don't cling to it. Simply bless it, enjoy it, and keep circulating. Because you now know the law, what you bless multiplies, what you fear dissolves. The spiritually wealthy live in that rhythms. They create in silence. They receive in gratitude. They share in humility. And then, quietly, they begin again. Beloved, your miracles are on their way. You will not need to convince anyone when they arrive. They will see. They will feel. They will know. For the vibration of grace is undeniable. Say softly now as your final decree, "My miracles reveal themselves in perfect timing. I receive in peace. I give in love. And I live under grace, in perfect ways." Then breathe deeply and imagine your life surrounded by quiet proof. Every corner of your existence touched by divine order. Because that is what it means to live as the spiritually wealthy. You no longer chase validation. You walk in confirmation. And so it is. Beloved, now that you had listened, breathed, and believed, I want you to remember this truth. You were never meant to chase money. You were meant to call it. You were never meant to beg for blessings. You were meant to receive them. Calmly, confidently, completely. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to remember your inheritance. For the universe is not testing you. It is teaching you. And Spirit is not withholding anything from you. It is waiting for you to align with what has been yours all along. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Nothing can come to you unless it belongs to you by divine right." So hear me now, beloved. Everything that is truly yours cannot miss you. The house that carries your name, the wealth with your energy, the opportunities prepared for your hands. They are already on their way. You do not need to chase what already remembers you. You need only hold your peace, keep your faith, and walk as if it is done. Say softly now, no longer chase. I attract. Again, I no longer chase. I attract. Every time you say those words, your energy shifts from desperation to declaration. You stop reaching outward and start radiating inward. You stop begging for signs and start becoming the signal. You stop doubting your worth and start living your wealth. Beloved, your silence has power. Your faith has frequency. Your words have weight. And your energy, your calm, your certainty, your gratitude, is your magnet. You don't need to shout to be heard by heaven. You need only whisper with conviction. Because the universe does not respond to noise. It responds to knowing. So tonight, when you close your eyes, see yourself surrounded by golden light. Feel that light circling your aura, healing you, clearing you, magnetizing you. It is the light of divine supply. It knows where your blessings are. It knows what belongs to you. And as you rest, it is already guiding everything that has your name on it to find you. Quickly, peacefully, perfectly. Say softly, everything that belongs to me is finding me now, under grace, in perfect ways. Again, slower. Everything that belongs to me is finding me now, under grace, in perfect ways. Breathe. Feel that truth enter your soul. Because wealth is not waiting for you. It is remembering you. Money does not belong to the loud or the lucky. It belongs to the aligned. It belongs to the peaceful. It belongs to the faithful. Florence said, "There is a perfect plan for your life, bigger, better, and more beautiful than you have ever dreamed." So if you are listening to these words now, you are already stepping into that plan. Your doubts are dissolving. Your frequency is rising. Your divine inheritance is awakening. You are not becoming wealthy. You are remembering you always were. Because Spirit has never seen you as poor, broken, or limited. It has only ever seen you as powerful, prosperous, and complete. Say it softly, with faith. I am powerful. I am prosperous. Again. I am powerful. I am prosperous. I am complete. Let those words echo through your being. Let them become your new rhythm. Because the moment you feel whole, everything incomplete rushes to join you. The moment you stop asking when, and start saying, now, heaven moves faster than time. Beloved, your season of struggle is over. Your era of alignment has begun. You have planted. You have believed. Now rest. Because what you have spoken in faith will appear in form. And as Florence would say, it will come under grace, in perfect ways. So lift your hands, open your heart, and whisper with me now, one final time. Divine Spirit, I am open. I am magnetic to miracles. All that belongs to me flows to me now, easily, freely, abundantly. I rest in faith. I walk in peace, and I receive in perfect timing under grace and in divine order. Now breathe deeply. Smile softly. You have just aligned with the frequency of wealth. And from this moment forward, everything you touch, think, and speak will rise to meet that vibration. Your aura is glowing, your faith is working, your miracle is unfolding, and so it is, forever and always.